everybody? It's Tuesday, and welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 744. We've got a wonderful quad, a quattro for you, a wonderful quad, a fantastic four, if you dare. I am your host, Jan Ochoa, Mr. Jantastic himself. I've got to check my watch because earlier he had trouble with time, but it looks like my watch says it's grubbin' time. We've got Jeff Grubb.
Jeff Grubb lives. The claims of my demise were greatly exaggerated. It's all good. It's all good here. How are you?
I feel fantastic because we got the Human Torch here, our Human Torch, because she's got the hottest take outs, Jess O'Brien.
Flame on. Happy Pride.
Yes, that's it. That was the Human Torch's. That was their catchphrase every time. It was like, "Flame on, Happy Pride,
Happy Pride." I accidentally wore a gay shirt today. We did not coordinate this.
It's fine. I wind up doing that every day also. And last but certainly not least, we couldn't see him last week because he was on vacation. So I guess invisible, the de facto mom of the group, Jeff Bakalar.
Hey, what's up? I've returned from a tropical climate and I have been untouched by the sun's evil UV rays.
I was going to say, you look even paler somehow.
No,
well done.
You look like you've been kissed by the sun.
Sure. A peck on the cheek, perhaps. Yeah. Maybe a wet peck on the forehead, if you will. I was in the country of Mexico for almost an entire week. I swam in cenotes and I ate great food and I lived my best life on the beaches of Quintana Roo is where I was in the Mexican state.
And you too can travel to Mexico by using code. There's no code. I wish there was a code to travel to Mexico.
Bakalar, did you get diarrhea?
No. Man, no one did on my trip. I mean,
the disappointment in Grubb's voice.
So here's the deal,
I'm trying to get podcast content here. I mean, come on.
It's just a different way of life with the water in Mexico because, like, everyone is very much aware. They're like, you cannot be fucking drinking our water.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
if you grew up there, like, your body gets used to it. It's fine. It's totally fine. But it's just like, I went to like Belgium and I got sick because I was drinking the water. I just wasn't used to it. It's that happens everywhere.
You got sick from Belgium water, dude?
Yes, you get sick. Because it's like there's going to be different things in different water all over the place, and like your body just hasn't built up the immunity to it yet.
Yeah,
so
like we have our own.
That's what happens
parasites.
when you go to Mexico.
We have our own parasites in our water, and we just don't even think about it.
That's right.
It's turning the frogs gay, by the way.
I'm just gonna let everyone know that, Jan.
I thought you said the progs because we were talking about like Belgium and stuff, and I was like, oh, Europe joke.
But like number one, okay, so we had like a fixer down there, right? And
no, not right. What do you mean?
Kill a guy?
We had like a grease man down there who was just like our guy. He was like,
"Yo, go to Mexico, kill a guy." Like,
no, don't do that. And he's like,
Jeff's
got a guy for you. Bakalar's got a guy.
He's like, I don't drink the water either. He's like, it would make me sick too. So I feel like I don't know if there's a lot of Mexican people who are like accustomed to the water. I don't know. It just seemed like I think everyone there is like on the same page with the water situation. But I
do the same thing in the Philippines. I don't drink the tap water or any of the running water. Just bathe in it. I got to drink bottled water.
I was in the DR once and for a wedding, and my wife, like, slip of the mind. You're in the shower, and like some people just like to go like with the water in there, and like she did that like a dumbass. Like the second to last day we were there.
She occasionally listens to this, man.
Honestly, bro, she doesn't. If anything, she would hear me through the fucking wall, and that's about it. And she was fucking all banged up those last 48 hours. Ooh. But like, no, I didn't drink any of the water. Like you could accidentally like kiss the water a little bit. You give the water a little kiss and you're fine. But let me tell you something about swimming in cenotes. Do you know about this? Do you know what like the deal in Mexico is?
I don't know what a cenote is.
I do not know that word.
Is it like a sonar coyote?
Ooh. Very close. Incredibly close. It is like a natural
one of the new
hole.
Pokémon.
It's a natural like hole that was probably left over from like the Ice Age or some shit, where it is fills up with the most clearest natural water.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, this is how we get to Hollow Earth.
Correct.
Yes.
This is where they filmed Godzilla versus King Kong.
I'm looking at a picture, and this is where you fight the Pain in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. One of these things.
Correct, you are, Jess.
Yeah.
So no, it's like a super wildly cool natural phenomenon with like unbelievably clear water and just fucking fish and wildlife and terrifying shit. Because one of them we went to was in a cave, was in a bat cave, and I swam in a fucking bat cave. It was like
Do the bats swim in the bat cave, or they're just flying above you?
No, they're just flying above and shitting, presumably shitting into the cenote.
Yeah, but that's good for you.
It's all part of the ecosystem down there.
Yeah.
And it was just wild, just like seeing all of that and just being a part of it, and just man, what a wild natural phenomenon. I gotta say. Speaking of, I don't know if this is fully natural because there's a lot of controversy about why this is. There's this insane seaweed buildup on the Mexican shore right now, and I think in Florida too, where like I don't know what they call. I think it was called like the sargass. It was like some sort of weird
sargasm.
Yeah. No, sargasm. No, I think that's what it's called.
When you're so sarcastic.
That's that can't be the name of it.
It's
a joke I said from my face.
Are you being sarcastic?
Yes, look at
I am being sarcastic.
Sargasm. I'm telling you guys.
Nah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's this buildup of what the fuck?
Sargento like cheese. Yeah.
No, it has nothing to do with cheese. It's all seaweed.
Kake.
Yes, it's a seaweed. It's a seaweed kake that builds up to a point where like they can't fucking do anything about it, and it just builds up on the shore, and you're just sort of like, yeah, it's an algae. Thank you, Zombie Pie. It's an algae, and it was just everywhere. And like, you know, we didn't stay at a resort, but we were within walking distance to a resort, and we went over there, and these poor guys are like fucking forklift, you know, pitchforking all this seaweed and sargasm into a goddamn wheelbarrow. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. So apparently the controversy is that like some people are like, yeah, well, this happens all the time, but there's people, and again, I don't know what the actual scientific explanation for this is, but some people maintain that there is an abundance of fertilizer in the ocean water, which makes this shit grow even more. Again, like you could say to yourself, oh, that sounds like a fucking dumbass human thing that we've done, but I don't know 100% exactly what the true reasoning for it is.
Do they shovel it back into the Sargassi or what?
No, they can't. That would just be like, you know, come on, you can't do that.
Maybe
they like throw. I don't know what they do. Maybe they burn it. I have no idea.
You could eat it.
Yeah, make sushi.
Yeah, dry it out.
I'm not sure this is the fucking thing we're eating. I'm not sure this is the thing we're wrapping rice in.
I've jumped into an ocean and dried seaweed before. Also, for folks listening and watching at home, it's sargassum.
Got it.
Not gasm.
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
shit.
tomato. I mean, come on.
Mario. It's also Mario. Yes, right. Yeah.
You look. No, the jury's still out on that one. I think Mexican food obviously is delicious.
Fantastic food.
God, I was at a place in Playa del Carmen called it was like something tacos Falcon or something. Unbelievable, like the most wild, like the best tacos I've ever had in my entire life.
We talking corn tortillas?
Fagon, I think
it has to be corn tortillas, right?
Oh, dude, yeah. And like, you know, there's just like little doggy dogs walking around everywhere, and they're hungry little dogs, and you're just like, do I feed this like feral canine? And it's like, is that the move? And like, no, you shouldn't. But it's just a nice like atmosphere there. I've never been to Mexico before. Very big fan of Mexico now, and I will try to go back sometime in the near future. Thank you for asking.
Flour tortillas, does that mean I'm very white if I prefer those? Is that what that means?
Yes. Flour tortillas are commonly for burritos, but it is like a very American thing, I believe.
Okay.
Jess, you also traveled to somewhere tropical recently. I wanted to get you on the Bombcast to talk about it, but here you are. You want to talk about your tropical location real quick?
Yeah, weekend before last weekend, I think. What's time? I was in Louisville, Kentucky, and I never thought I'd ever go to Kentucky personally, but I've been there 3-4 times now because I got some dear old online friends that live down there, and it's like we should hang out. and it's always a good time. The only strange thing about hanging out in Louisville is that we usually stay over at my friend's parents' house, and they are some kind of like Kentucky royalty or something. I don't know. Like, I think like his grandpa was like the mayor or something in the 1940s. I don't fucking know.
Colonel Jess?
I know, right? And it's like we are
Kentucky in the
guy's
40s.
house.
I don't know.
It's a bad time, but yeah, they live in the most house that I've ever really stepped foot in. I think maybe the second largest house I've ever stepped foot in, and the other largest house was by another couple.
Do they call it a house, or
rich.
do they call it like a compound or something?
The manor? It's
Yeah.
definitely a house. It's in like a very rich suburb full of other
Okay.
McMansions and stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't think you're describing a McMansion. I think you're describing a proper mansion.
No, it
It's in a
definitely
suburb.
has. It definitely has a vibe of like being built in like the 90s, because
Sure.
like a lot of the furniture kind of still has that kind of leftover cocaine decor
Hell yeah.
feel to it.
Oh.
There's a lot of like
Scarface chic.
yeah, a little bit. Lots of chandeliers. Lots of chandeliers.
Just like the classiest decor you could imagine.
Yeah, it's
When I say
except
classy, I mean tacky.
yeah, very tacky. Except there is a bust, a bronze bust of Ronald Reagan in the living room, looking at me. And
Would have
I'm
been my
just-
second guess. Ronald Reagan would have been my second guest. So,
Mhm.
Yeah,
So-
Chad missed out on this primo content. Jess and I were doing the best Ronald Reagan imitations to each other.
Oh, let me hear it.
I
definitely know how this man sounds.
Yeah, I only know how this man sounds through other people imitating this man.
Your first imitation was to bring up Watergate, so that was already incorrect.
I had the
A
wrong
couple
president
decades
in
off
mind.
there, bro. Yeah.
I was like, that's
He
the wrong
talks
thing.
like this, right? Like that.
Yeah,
was
that's
Okay,
very
there we go.
good, actually.
He sounds like a
Thinking
little
about
ghoul.
the war on drugs, I think.
My
I learned how
wife's
to-
name is Nancy.
Well,
AIDS, never heard of her.
That's not bad. I learned how to do Ronald Reagan from the Land of Confusion Phil Collins video.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's good. I learned from Wet Hot American Summer, the sequel
Nice.
series on Netflix. Yeah,
Who,
that's very good,
Showalter
too.
play him?
Showalter, yeah, did
Yeah.
him. Yes, absolutely. It's great. Yes,
That's
I think he must
awesome.
have did it on their old show, and yeah, he brought it back. So
That's
very good.
awesome.
Oh God!
But I ate a lot of real good food too.
All right.
Thanks,
Excellent.
Louisville.
Thank you,
You got
Jess.
the good shit.
Thank you.
You know,
Jess.
I just wanted to interject this real quick because I'm a big cheese person. I'm a cheese enthusiast, and obviously there's no shortage of cheeses, no shortage of queso, Spanish, in Mexico. And fuck,
Queso.
I didn't realize.
Fromage, right?
Yeah, no, well, that's different country, but
Man.
I didn't realize that like this El Fagone place I was at, they were using.
You say it's so
Someone
Jersey.
told you, yeah, someone told you that's how it sounds, but when you say it,
Hey.
it sounds like a slur. It sounds like you're saying a
Alfagone.
slur. This Alfagone over
you're
here.
fucking
New Jersey
Fagone.
speaks Spanish. Relax, okay? Nueva Jersey, okay? So, fucking,
Okay.
I didn't realize like the cheese has almost like a fresh mozzarella
Yeah.
vibe to it. Holy, that blew me away because I was just like, my God, it was so delicious. Yeah, I love cheese. Man, just all the plantains for days.
Yeah.
Plantains.
Yes.
Days.
Plantains.
And
When we
so-
went to Jamaica, the fried plantains is what like we lived on. God, it's good. That's good eating.
Nice.
You
Someone
know,
asked me in the chat, like, "Oh, what'd you eat?" You should go to Senora Arepas if you've not been there, because that's Venezuelan sandwiches. Holy shit.
Ooh.
Holy shit!
Ooh, that sounds good.
Fucking good. And then there's like a karaoke place, like literally in the same parking lot, and that was also
Wait,
wonderful.
in the parking lot?
It's like connected to the same like back part, like the buildings are touching butts basically.
Okay, I got you. I understand.
You know, like
sharing
that's-
parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Docking.
Oh
right.
my gosh, really good.
Docking.
I never get to do karaoke. It ruled.
If you could have just indulged me for one more second,
Please.
Just
Bakalar,
one-
it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm steering the ship. We're taking
Yeah.
the detour.
Okay,
We're
cool. If
taking
we
the
could just
exit. We're going to see the big yogurt exhibit.
Well, yeah, we see the roadside attractions. Let's do it.
The Mustard Museum, pull over.
We could just do one
Guess
more
we're
lap
never
around the
going.
block.
We're never
Oh,
going to
here's
the Mustard
here's the
Museum.
man that's so white he burnt the sun.
Yeah, sun's scared of
I
me.
stole that from chat. Jeff
Fucking,
Byrne.
we're getting we're in a car from the airport to our place we're staying, and I was wearing some sort of hockey shirt, and the driver comes out and he's like, "Hey, how are you?" He's putting our bags in the back, and my kid's next to me, and the guy sees me wearing this hockey shirt, and he goes, "Oh," he's like, "I've been watching that." He's like, "That hockey's amazing." He's like, "You're a professional hockey player?" Like,
Oh my God, he's sucking up to you.
Right?
He's trying to get a tip.
my kid looks at me and he's just like, "Dad, what a fucking dumbass assumption that guy just made." Like, kind of like with this thing where he was almost saying like, "Should we lie to him and say like, yeah, you're a pro hockey player? You like 5'10", like 190 nothing, like you chunky man, like you clearly." He didn't say all that. I projected that.
Said it with his eyes.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Kids, I know what it's like. That's exactly how it is.
Me too.
It was a good moment, though. It was a good moment where he's like, and then my kid's like, no, he plays hockey, but he's not like a devil or anything. The guy's like, cool, okay. Diablo, I get it. Great. Blanco Diablo, that's me. Anyway.
Well, it sounds like you were playing games with that dude, but we've also been playing some games. Hit the music, me.
Good job, you. Ow, I hit my elbow. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought that's how the soundbite ended. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Whoa.
we never played it out the whole time.
Funk.
Bakalar, I feel like you'd be into this. This is not actually a game. I'm sorry. This is more kind of anecdotes, but this is semi-related. Or this is a thing I'm playing. I went to a driving range for the first time.
Ooh.
I can't believe that ended with the first time. What do you mean?
I'd never
How'd
gone
that
to a
happen?
driving range.
Becca, how often do you think like normal people are just going to the driving range? Do you think that's a common hobby among the folk?
I don't know how to answer that.
He's
I'm
from the
Yeah.
New York tri-state. We have a
Yeah.
weird
Right.
relationship with golf because we're
It's
so into
everywhere.
the city, and that's like this is the way we get to see the great outdoors. Is the extremely
We tell you to go
manicured
touch
hills.
grass, and this is what
Yeah.
happens. I get it.
Yeah.
We tell you to
Everyone's
touch-
dad
Yeah.
goes to the driving range or goes golfing like once, twice a month, basically, if they can
that was,
afford it.
that
and know
was
it.
my dad too, for
know a
sure. And
guy.
I definitely went to the driving range with him. But
Yeah.
it's like if you don't have that person in your life, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
For
I
folks
played
that are
golf in
not-
high school too. Yeah, for a little bit.
For folks that are
Which is
not
very-
aware, a driving
cool.
range is like an area, sometimes in a golf course or a separate place, where it's just a lineup of dudes just hitting a bunch of balls as hard as they can and as far as they can.
Golf
let me-
I saw a
balls.
TikTok
Golf
where a
balls.
lady did it.
Yes.
We've seen Happy Gilmore. We know what they are.
And it's pretty fun. And I didn't have anything else to add to that other than like I immediately went to Craigslist and tried looking up the cheapest set of golf clubs I could possibly find.
Always a good path.
It was fun. And then I was like, maybe I can somehow con Lucy and Tam into coming with me to this driving range. And then we'll just do some jazz or whatever.
You guys should just go play like a par 3 course, like first thing in the
pitch and
morning.
putt.
Get out before everybody else. Just go actually play without actually learning. That'd be fun. You sure you can't win like some golf clubs and like a claw machine, Jan? I bet you could find that. Like
If I
that.
didn't even play, I'd do it.
Such a pain in the ass getting them out of that slot at the bottom. It's just not.
Well, like, what do you grab onto? Do you like the
You can't. The head of the club,
head?
maybe? I have no idea.
I didn't even know if that was the proper terminology.
Yeah.
Um,
So how'd you do? Did you hold the club correctly? Did you follow through? How was your feet? How did it go?
my best friend, he played golf in like middle school and stuff, and he was schooling the rest of the crew as to how to properly hold the club and everything. I was whiffing for quite a while, but then I eventually started hitting the balls. I started, with a 7-iron. Is that the proper terminology?
Yeah,
is that a thing?
that's a club.
That is one of them.
I hit that bad boy to like 200 yards.
No shit. Good for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, 7-iron. You might have been holding it wrong. I'll say that
Yeah.
if you're hitting a 7-iron 200 yards.
hit it with the back.
No, you want to hit it up. So yeah, that's kind of ones where you're trying to get it like some loft on it. But whatever, that's still impressive.
Yeah, and then it was hilarious because the specific driving range we went to was not, let's say it's like your local boy one, your local person one, because no one was given an F. And then there was like another group of older gentlemen on the other side, just cracking open a couple cold ones. And then like this old woman in the middle, just belligerently switching clubs constantly. Every single time she was missing the ball, and she like was yelling at someone, but I don't know who she was yelling at. And then there's me and my hooligans on like the left side.
Yeah.
Nice.
When you say it was like a different kind of driving range. Is that what you mean? Where you're just talking about there's not like a lot of order? Describe it.
Like the lawn was not manicured at all. There was a lot of dirt. They also said like, "Hey, our net is broken. Hit it to the left."
Oh, okay. That's a strange
Hell
request.
yes.
That is very strange.
When you were describing that, I'm thinking of like, instead of like the little signs that tell you the yardage, I'm just imagining like flaming barrels with numbers spray painted.
Oh, I
on
wish.
them.
I wish.
Like that'd be dope as hell.
I want a driving range to have the aesthetic of like a 90s dystopian movie.
This was actually pretty close.
Yeah.
Mad Max,
Yeah.
Tough to collect all the balls in that kind of set dressing, but yeah.
Or a laser tag place.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like they turned it into a haunted house once, and then they just like a haunted golf driving range, and then they just never turned it back. They just left it up all year round. Yeah,
Wow.
But after a while, I just kept swinging away, mashing away, just like you do in the game I'm going to talk about, Fire Emblem Warriors: Three Hopes. I believe the quick look should be up live now. Grub and I recorded that before this bad boy. Let me ask y'all, do you like a game where you pretty much just hit either one or two buttons and defeat millions of people? Perhaps like a Dynasty Warriors game?
Good.
Musou, yeah.
A Musou, yes.
That sounds fun.
Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes is another Musou game. There was a Fire Emblem Warriors game prior. There's also Hyrule Warriors, where you were Link and sexy friends battling hundreds of gremlins. And I'm not normally into these types of games. I feel like it is a little bit mindless in terms of the combat, because you're mostly just mashing and just going to different waypoints of like, oh, cool, I clear this base camp. Got to go clear that other base camp now. But the thing with this, and Grub, you saw how my personal compass was going. I feel like I'm getting into this game because of the packaging of Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, because it is in the same universe as Three Houses, and I was really, really into Three Houses.
Same characters and all that.
Yeah,
that's that seems to be the key for Jan, at least, because I was going to ask him this during the quick look, but he basically already answered it. Like, this is like Age of Calamity to Hyrule Warriors, where Age of Calamity is just like, instead of being about the whole Zelda series, we're going to take Breath of the Wild and we're going to expand that out into a Musou specifically. This is unlike the earlier Fire Emblem Musou. This is just about Three Houses, and so we're just going to have those characters. But then that enables Jan to do what he did, which is, I played as one house when I played Fire Emblem Three Houses previously, and now I'm just going to pick that same house and get to spend more time with those characters doing new stuff. And I think if that sounds enticing to you, the vibe I got from this is like, there is something here.
Yeah, 100%. Like, Grub and I got into it on the quick look, but just in case you don't have time to check in on that, you do pick a house, one of the three houses, either the Blue Lions, Black Eagles, or the Golden Deer. And it is, I don't want to say a direct continuation, but you wind up spending more time with that said house and the same characters in it. You join them in the beginning. There's a little bit of a time skip that happens, and you're supposed to be this random mercenary that gets, let's say, taken over by a spirit, or a spirit starts inhabiting your body, kind of similar to Byleth from Three Houses, but you're just like a side character friend, and you can occasionally turn Super Saiyan, and then they call upon you to like, yo, stuff is tough out here, dog. Can you help us fight this war? Because we're just a bunch of kids. We need another kid to fight this war. And it's really cool, because the thing that I've wanted the most is just more time with the Golden Deer, and I can assume that if you got really attached to any of the other houses, you would just want more time and more adventures with those characters, because, you know, the strongest part of Three Houses was definitely the characters that got built up over time and your time with them. The actual combat, I could completely miss it. There's an auto battle feature that I think I might just explore and just completely skip over the Musou elements, because none of it is particularly enticing. The coolest parts that I have found is just being able to order your different companions around to different parts of the map, of like, oh, there's a dragon over there. I have these 3 units that are better equipped to fight dragons. I'll just send you all over there. And these missions can scale anywhere from like a really small, tight map where you're just taking over a couple of different waypoints to like a grand sweeping, like full out type of war simulation type of deal where you have to not only take care of a couple of different waypoints and take over those bases, but you also have to send a couple units back to your own base to defend that spot. And it can quickly get overwhelming, and it can especially feel overwhelming because of how many freaking enemies they throw at you. Because Grub saw it in the quick look, but one of the side quests was defeat 300 enemies. And we wound up hitting that in like 2 minutes because a Warriors game, they're just throwing people at you every second.
Right, that is the game. It is, you're gonna hit attack and you're gonna hit a lot of people at once. And you were hitting like, 30 to 40 people at once. And that's fun. That's fun. I don't know how long it's fun, but if there's these other things happening that you do enjoy, it is something to do that is video gamey in between those segments to like add some pacing and stuff like that. But my question to Jan was like, if I wanted more Fire Emblem, should I just go back and play like the other paths I overlooked in Three Houses? And it's like, well, it depends on who you are. Are you someone who wants more of that strategy gameplay? Or you want someone who does want to see those other characters? Or did you build such an attachment to your Fire Emblem Three Houses house that you want to stay with them? In which case, this game is providing that.
Yeah, there is a demo out on the eShop just to try out the combat. If none of the Warriors games in the past have enticed you, I don't think that aspect will bring you in, but it really is the story for me that is like getting me to come back because I actually care about Claude, Hilda, and the whole Golden Deer people. And I'm curious to see how this tries to weave its own story through the Three Houses narrative, because this does take part post time skip, or when it becomes Fire Emblem Three Houses Shippuden. Bakalar, Jess,
I knew you were gonna be a Golden Deer. I just knew it.
That's where we can agree. Not a fucking Hufflepuff.
They're the same house.
No, they're not.
They're yellow. I don't have much interest in Muso type games. I also don't know how to pronounce Muso. I don't know the inflection exactly. I don't know.
The only people that care about the inflection are the they don't matter. We can just ignore them. Yeah.
Freaking nerds.
A bunch of nerds.
But I did watch my partner play a whole bunch of Three Houses, and Claude is a hottie patati. I agree.
A himbo for sure.
A himbo to end all. I love this man. Beautiful boy. He's great. The deers are pretty cool. I like them. So good choice on choosing the best house.
Yeah, because I don't.
Genre's not my.
Go ahead.
That's all good. I was gonna say that genre is just not my. It's not my go-to. It's not my. I've only played maybe one or two sort of games like that and not latched on in a meaningful way. Just to answer your question, yeah.
What about a hockey muso? Because Grub brought up the rumblings of perhaps a Mario muso.
Right. Yes, there was those rumors, and I don't believe them, but I would be interested to see what a Mario Muso would be like.
That would convince me to dabble into the genre, because beating up like 30 Goombas in one fell swoop would be very satisfying.
Mario holding a hammer, right? Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just like doing a big old stomp and like his blast radius just. Agent smithing like 40. Yeah, that'd be satisfying.
And like mini bosses, like the hammer bros out there. Yeah, like it's you can visually see how much more interesting that I suppose maybe some people like really do latch on to the anime style of these games, and that's probably why they keep making anime or these games based on anime properties or more anime like properties. But for me, I would need something that visually appeals to me, and Mario would be great. I still don't think that's ever going to happen, though. I would love for it to happen.
I'm assuming that these games perform relatively well for them to keep popping up, because I thought Hyrule Warriors was a bust, but I guess if Oh, okay.
Age of Calamity, they're the best-selling Warriors. Age of Calamity is definitely the best-selling Warriors game, I think. So, it's got the Zelda license, and it was on Switch. It wouldn't take a lot. I mean, these games are selling probably a couple million copies, 2-3 million copies at the high end, probably. And the traditional ones probably aren't selling that well.
I can't
but
imagine.
this is Koei Tecmo kind of just they have a formula. It works. They could slap some stuff in there. Try some other things. They can partner with other companies, like when they made Persona 5 Strikers. And so like they could probably do it relatively inexpensively, and so it makes sense.
God, yeah, the Muso portion of this game still not drawing me in, but the like commanding units to go certain places, which makes me I would kill for a Fire Emblem RTS, and I'm not even an RTS guy. Let's see, what else have people been playing? Jeff Grubb.
Yeah.
You like jelly beans?
I like jelly beans quite a bit. I like the Starburst jelly beans. Is that the kind? Like, I like to get not the fancy, but like the yeah. For Easter, for the last few years, they've probably been doing it for like a decade now. But you go there and like you don't just have to get the normal jelly beans. You can get the cool, flavorful jelly beans, and they're based on the Starburst brand or whatever. They're really good. I think on Game this morning, earlier, maybe it was last week, I'm like, hey, if a game goes free to play, are you more interested in trying it out? And I wasn't like, I'm like, yeah, sometimes my big thing is it gets more people playing it. It's easier to ask friends to come play. So you want to check it out. And that definitely 100% happened with me in Fall Guys.
The Jelly Bean Boys.
The Jelly Bean Boys back in action. And I would hop on to Discord, or I'd see a friend playing on Twitch, and they are playing Fall Guys, and I'm like, well, I can just boot that up right now on my Switch for free and just start playing with them. And I did, and I played a lot of Fall Guys this past week, so probably like around like 5-6 hours or something like that, like 3 hours just last night almost.
Nice.
And it was like it was a good time. I think that it's grown in terms of the breadth of levels, where like there's a lot of stuff going on in the levels, but it's still mostly that same action. And I think if it didn't click with you originally, there's maybe reasons to check back in. One of them, it's, there's a low cost barrier, and it's maybe you can get a different group of people to come in and play with you because now it is free.
Yeah.
But overall, I was like, this is still going to be a situation where a lot of times I'm just getting bad RNG and I'm losing this level for what doesn't feel like any good reason. And when the jumping is off, it feels real bad to me. But I still like when I get it, when I sort of like give myself over to the game and get in the flow of things, that actually ends up feeling pretty fun. And I won a crown last night when we were playing in our solo modes and stuff like that. So,
man,
I'm enjoying it. I think it's worth checking back in on, and it's the kind of game where I'm like, okay, it's nice to have another one of these games where we know we could quickly spin up something and get a bunch of people in there playing. Like we did that on UPF, and that was a good time as well. It's like, okay, here's another custom game thing that we know everyone has access to, and I'm kind of just enjoying playing it on my own as well. So yeah, it's worth checking back in on.
Yeah, I was on the opposite side of that, where after that stream, I deleted it and have not played it since. But I do like that ability, because I don't think I had fun playing. I don't think I had a lot of fun playing Fall Guys when I was just going into it solo before. But when I popped into it with y'all and our community, it was a lot more fun that way, because then like you see the usernames that ring a bell either from the website or the Discord, and then we gladiatorial style started rooting for them or having them prey upon you, Grub, and just hashtag grab Grub. That was a good time. So it is neat that there is a free to play option that a lot of people can just swoop up or just leave installed on the PS4 or Switch and just be able to hop on with us at any time. That squad mode is pretty cool though. The four
I like
squads.
that one. Yeah.
I was hoping we could do that in custom games. You can't, but it's nice just to have the option where if like you have 4 people and you don't want anyone to wait around the entire time because they lost in the first round, well, being able to drag everyone forward is a really smart way of doing that. And it's you're probably playing against, especially because it's free to play now, you probably are playing against a lot of people who are just younger kids, people who don't play games quite as often, and they can feel like get in there. So it's like, oh yeah, we were in there dominating and stuff, and that was fun too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that squad mode is very smart. I think that having the custom games be like a minimum 30 means that like it's still sometimes difficult to do it. Like if I'm doing like my own Twitch stream, but when we do get enough, it's still a really good time. So everything they're doing for that is really working. The one thing I haven't checked out, and I thought it was supposed to launch with all this stuff, and maybe I missed it. Maybe I just haven't looked into it. I haven't like tried to boot this up, but the custom creator stuff, being able to make stuff on your own from like the community perspective, and then like give it to other people and let them play it. I haven't messed around with that, and I haven't seen anyone posting anything from that stuff. So I wonder if it's just not out yet. But that might be the kind of thing where when it does launch, and if it is out there, I'll check in on it. Maybe we could do some fun stuff with that and create a sort of thing for UPF or something.
Yeah, honestly, as long as it's with a community, I wouldn't mind circling back to it at all.
Yes.
Another thing that I've been playing, and this is just my old habits die hard, folks. This past weekend was a community day in Pokemon, and I my partner was
okay?
No, I was not okay because my partner she was busy and she had to go do some work on the weekends at her summer job, and I had to play with 2 phones playing Pokemon Go, and then I felt like the insane people that I normally see playing Pokemon. Just here I am sitting in a park, just swiping 2 phones, just throwing stuff.
Oh dear.
The thing that I want to say is that community days are generally when a popular Pokemon or a rare Pokemon is out in abundance, and there is a higher likelihood of a shiny variant, so a different color, being available. Some Pokemon have 2 evolutions, and you got to get a bunch of candy to evolve a Pokemon. Here, they had the 2nd stage evolution, but that was cluttering up the map, that it was taking up all the spawns for the actual Pokemon that everyone was out for. That chances for finding the actual Pokemon Dano that the community day was for.
Yeah, Paul Dano, right?
Paul Dano,
Yep.
yes, the
Great
Riddler
actor.
himself. Loved him in Swiss Army Man, let me tell you.
It's always been my favorite Pokemon, absolutely.
Was very tough because there were a bunch of other evolutions of the community day Pokemon, and none of those had the odds or the chance to be shiny. So because I was doing this on 2 different phones, I was initially jazzed of like, oh shit, there's hella of these other Pokemon, I can save my candy, but then only for none of them to be shiny. And then I just wound up being sad and eating a fish sandwich in the park.
Oh my god.
And had you caught one, you would have been happy, is the suggestion there?
Because if it was just Dano, the community day Pokemon, Paul Dano, then that would have been great. Or if its evolution had a chance to be shiny, then that would be fantastic. Before we get to the game of the week, Bakalar, you traveled. Did you? How was traveling with a Steam Deck?
Well, thanks for asking, bud. I gotta say, fucking amazing. Like,
It's good, right?
there's, I was playing the Shredder's Revenge on the plane with my kid. Had the thing docked in the middle of us with 2 Bluetooth controllers. I mean, it
Nice.
doesn't get
That
better
sounds
than
so
that.
cool.
That's
It was
sick.
just, and like, it just worked so well. And then, he's like, oh, I'm going to play Mario Strikers. And I said, oh, that's fine. I took over the Steam Deck and I didn't even do a handheld thing with Neon White. I just propped it up and was rocking my little controller playing that game. And I just got to say, like, man, there is, and I also got a little deep, like the packing the night before and the previous nights before, just figuring out crash course emulation tutorial in the Steam Deck, and just the ease of like what that whole thing is like. And man, that's a rabbit hole, but like an accessible rabbit hole that you can kind of climb out of and not have to stay up all night worrying about these types of things. But yeah, long story short, like really, really awesome. That screen is it's pretty good in terms of like, it's that tray table distance that it's like perfect for, where you're not really straining yourself and you're in a sweet little zone there. And yeah, I gotta say,
The Goldilocks zone.
the Goldilocks zone, as it were. And no, I loved playing Neon White with it. It was awesome. I played it for probably 6 hours coming and going.
Well,
You should,
Jeff Bakalar, you
Make sure you add
said
us on Steam
Yeah.
so that we can add so you can get your times on there, so we could see how fast you are on the Steam Deck.
Sure, I'm nowhere near you freaks, but sure, I'll
Jeff
throw
Bakalar
my hat
said
in the
the name of the game, and it is 2 weeks in a row now. Game of the week, Neon White. I think we've all continued playing this.
Oh, can I do it? Wait, hang on a second.
Yes.
Neon White.
Okay, I'll do game of the week, then you hit the Neon White. Ready, Jess?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, ready?
Game of the week.
Neon White.
It's a
Fantastic.
video game.
Damn, I haven't
you wanna
figured
add
out
something to
that.
this?
Bakalar, this is embarrassing for you, Bakalar. I'm so sorry.
I haven't figured out that button on my Goxler yet.
Goxler. That's a good way of saying that.
Last
good.
week,
Game's great.
last week, Grub, Dan, and I talked about a lot of Neon White, but Jess, Bakalar, we haven't really heard your feelings on it yet.
No,
Yeah.
I missed out.
How was it?
I didn't really know what to expect. All I did was see that really fast-paced trailer, and I was sort of like, "Well, that looks just weird enough for me to give a shit about." I was like, "It's like speed run, first-person shooter stuff. Cool. I'll give that a whirl." And it was very well. Look, okay, full transparency. I can't deal with the text stuff. I have to.
Yeah. I fast forward through all the anime
I don't
too.
know what they're doing. It's like 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna like read that. I'm gonna give a shit a little, but it keeps going and going. Even when you fast forward, it's like taking forever. You're like,
You
Jesus
guys have
fucking
no tolerance for visual novels or anything. Like,
It
there's
is
not
I'm
that
bad.
many
I'm a
words
bad
in this
person.
game.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah, no,
This is about
okay,
me. This is not about the game.
yeah. This is me just being like, no thanks. I see what you're offering here, but thank you, but no.
Oh,
Thank
my
you, but no.
veggies? No, thank you.
Nope.
Like, yeah.
I don't care what like red, scarlet and blue jeans and fucking green face are doing. Like, I just want to do the fast, fun card shooter thing. Like that is scratching the itch. for me.
Okay.
And I love it. I think it controls in a way that is like forgiving, but also precise.
Yeah.
And there's an incredible amount of like speed. The only thing that I do kind of like butt heads a little bit with, and maybe this is just the nature of all of these run-based, heat competition games.
Right.
Like you're at, it's really the trial and error with a lot of it, where you're just sort of like, I keep getting to this fucking fork in this road, and it's like, I don't know what to fucking do. So I guess the move is to just like figure it out the slowest you can possibly do it, and then you learn from that. But for me, there's a part of me that's just like, I want to get this done in my second try.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking try and do this all, and it's just a fool's errand. You really just have to like.
Yeah, the game's
map out
built
your
not built
thing.
that way. The game like has the hints built in for like your 4th try, so that like
exactly.
Hey, you try the other stuff, you learned it, you got to see the content. Now here's a faster way of doing it. So yeah,
I think it's I just think it's really smart. It's really cleverly designed, and I love it. I've been playing the shit out of it. I started playing it on my monitor here instead of the Steam Deck, and I'm like looking at the Steam Deck. I'm just like, oh man, do I just like go back to you? Like,
well, are you playing with a controller on computer, or are you playing mouse and keyboard? Okay, well that's why.
Why I should do mouse and keyboard?
You
Yeah?
should do mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bakalar.
You have
I usually
to.
do all for FPS's mouse and keyboard anyway. So,
Right.
Yeah, that's the move. Okay, let's go.
Jess, I think
yeah,
you
but
and
I'm-
I are in the same side of the story here, where like I
Yeah.
don't mind it. I'm okay with it, but I think you and I are used to the visual novel trappings of stories more than
Yeah.
the rest of the team.
I mean, it's not a great story, but I feel like, I don't know, I've been hearing a lot of shit talk about
guff.
the writing in this game, you know?
What is the story? I have a question.
Yeah, I haven't read the writing, so I have no opinion of it.
Well, okay.
No,
I'm not saying it's bad. I just want to get to the shooty runs. The shooty runs is what I'm here for.
All
Yeah,
right.
and what's neon white? What's that?
That's
Wait,
you play as Neon White. I do know that. That's
the
the
first
man.
cutscene.
That's
Yeah,
Spike
no.
Spiegel. I know that
No,
much.
I'm just spamming that fast forward shit. I'm just like,
Oh my
yo,
God.
give me the runs.
People wrote that.
Give me the runs.
People made that. You should engage with it. I feel bad.
Yeah, no, it's
No.
fine.
But yeah, I've heard people say the writing's cringe. It's too online. It's too internet. I think even like their tolerance for that is so low. Like I've read some cringe too online internet bullshit, and this ain't it, in my opinion. Like it is not that bad. Like it's not that dated. It's not like too memey. I really don't understand what people are going on about.
I
There
don't find
was
it to be too memey either.
I
for the
don't. Yeah,
record,
it's
yeah.
just that this is the way people talk, you know. And people said this a very similar thing when Night in the Woods came out. Like, oh, people don't talk this funny, this memey, and it's like, get better friends. I don't know what to tell you. People do talk like this. Like, it's not like, oh, there's a John Cena joke. Like, who cares? He's a very famous celebrity man. Like that is not
The John Cena
obscure.
joke sounds. What I've heard from that stuff is like John Cena joke sounds great. Like this stuff sounds good. I like
Yeah.
honestly. I'm like I think the bellwether here for if this is actually all that cringe is Dan Reichert, because he can't stand this stuff at all, and he's just like, it seems too online, but he's not like flipping out about how it's assaulting his senses or anything like that. So I think we could probably assume it's probably not all that bad.
Oh man,
That guy didn't read anything.
I think because
words.
The story's typical and a little cliche, and yeah, amnesia is overplayed as a trope. And what are you gonna do? That shit just like happens all the time in games in general. Like, why be bothered about it specifically here? Because it's a little too anime seeming. I don't know. I like the aesthetic. It's giving me Paradise Killer vibes, which is also good, and a visual novel, and also not too cringe writing wise or anything like that. So it's talky, but it's dewy too. I don't know.
I think because the game element is so good and it's hooking a lot of people that they're not expecting the story to be presented in the way it is.
Right.
Because like
I played a lot of these kinds of games, and I played a lot of Trials. Like Trials has a story, and Trials Evolution does anyhow.
No,
but it's all
way.
happening
For real.
Yes, it's all happening in the background, or maybe it's Trials Fusion. It's all happening in the background, and it's all like the machine kind of talking to you when you're starting some levels. I think it's about. I don't pay attention to that either because I'm just like focused on the times. But like what I've gotten through osmosis, I think it's like the machine is trying to fuse with humans by like I don't know, copulating with them or something like that. Whatever. It's a weird story, but the point is like. Yeah, maybe fit it into the gameplay, but that's just my taste, and it's okay if other people want to absorb the words by just having it between the levels. It's just most of the games I played like this don't do it this way. And
the characters you talk to in those cutscenes appear in the levels, and you're
that
racing them
part works for me.
stuff.
Absolutely,
Like, yeah. So there's that. I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely do that stuff for sure. I am skipping the stuff that I'm just not here for. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know Ben Esposito is the head designer of this
Donut
game?
County. Yes.
Donut County.
Holy shit.
How do you not know? They're literally the
now.
same thing. It couldn't be more of the same thing.
All right, so you understand my shock. I mean, holy fuck, that's so cool.
You wouldn't think that somebody who designed such a chill, slow pace vibes game would make this fast paced vibes game.
Exact polar opposite.
The duality of man. Am I right?
Totally. Oh man,
big into that duality, man.
Donut County 2 is going to be fucked up.
Yeah.
Also, you're missing out on all the flirting. Don't you care about all the flirting?
I love flirting.
I like flirting, but I don't want it from this. It's fine. Like, it's fine. I just don't like Donut County was a vibe for sure. This is a vibe too, but it's like taking 11 cups of coffee and then speed.
I'm too sick. I'm too like I need to get better times than all these people, and nothing else matters. Like I did a stream and I played one level for at least an hour and probably more likely 2 hours.
That's
level.
Mind bending to me.
Yes,
so that's what I want to.
That's what I need.
That's what I was going to ask y'all. Like, how far are you actually in the game? Because I had completed a level and I got a faster time than Grub, and I was like, wait, how is this possible? And then I realized, oh, it's because Grub isn't actually playing the story. He's replaying the first set of levels over and over again.
Yes, I'm trying to get dev times on all the levels as I'm going along, which is not the right way to do it. I should just keep going forward. I think I'm most of the way through World 4. I realized I have to do that since we're doing the thing where we need to be have at least World 4 levels. So
you have to get to 5 actually.
5. Okay. Well, yes, that's fine. So I'm just going to commit to doing that. Although I was playing a little bit between stuff today, and I started just playing the same level over and over again. And so I can't control myself. It's just my brain chemistry reacting to the stimuli put in front of me by this game, and that is where like the story stuff is like this is not stimuli that I need. This other stuff is, and that's all it is. And I cannot help myself.
See, like my brain chemistry is so that I see all the names on the list and I go, I give up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be that fast. Like I'm not that good at these kind of like speedy reaction type games. It does feel good to play. Like when you're going real smooth and it feels good as hell. Like it feels good as hell. And I'm like, oh, that was smooth. And then like the times come up and there's like 12 people ahead of me. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Oh, And it kind of takes the wind out of my sails a little bit, but that's just how my brain is. That's the dipshit part of my brain that thinks Smash Brothers isn't really that fun anymore because everyone else is too fucking good at it, and I can't get any enjoyment out of it because they're kicking my ass too bad and making me feel bad. And it's just like, well, okay, it's nice that everybody's doing very well. I'll just be over here playing further levels and just ignoring the little side bit where the list is at. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I wish maybe you could like curate your leaderboard a little bit, right?
Like get these high level douchebags out of my sight. I don't want to look at these guys.
Just like a favorite list, like check. These are the people I'm like talking to about this game. Can I just do it with them? Like absolutely. Like, I could use that too. There are sickos in the community who are like, hey, Jeff, friend me. I'm like, I'm playing this game too. I'm like, okay. And they were even like, wow, Jeff, your times are really good. And then they would go play and just cream me in every level. I'm like, well, look who's getting unfriended. I'm like, all right, bye-bye.
Friggin' Papa Pishu on Twitter, Chris Person, great guy. He does highlight reel. Awesome. We're buddies, and he's like, oh, we should be Steam friends. You're playing Neon White too. I was like, oh yeah. So we friend each other, and then I look at his times, and he is like absolutely dominating every single leaderboard, and I'm just like, you son of a bitch. Like, you did this to hurt me. It's like, no, he didn't.
Can he do a hot takeout? No.
Okay.
Exactly.
Is his name Jess? No. Manager? No.
Is he a person? Well, technically, yes. Yes, he is that.
Somehow a person can make times that small in
far
this
as
game.
We know. Do any of you like have this problem with these kinds of games? Like, I don't like the competition stuff. Like, I think that's fun. If you're good at it, that's impressive. You know, Mazel Tov, what can I tell you? But like, what's the Do any of you get this feeling of like you're gonna trip over yourself if you play this too much? Like when I was trying to get all the gold in the first chapter, I was
sorry, I'm just kidding.
Can you do better than gold? There's dev time, right?
Shit like this, right? Shit like this,
there's
right?
Dev time. There's right. It's gold and then the S tier is.
There's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and then dev time.
Platinum.
And there's red times too. There's red above that. That's the dev times.
Red? Since when is red more valuable than platinum? What the fuck?
No.
It's rubies.
Blood.
I don't know.
What a dumbass scale. Anyway, fine. I'll get there maybe. But like I was going so fast where I almost like get out of my seat. I was like, oh, and I just, like when you go so fast, you like trip over yourself.
I'm tensed up and I'm like, I don't like that. My arms are getting like fatigued and stuff, and by the end, I am moving my body way too much.
Is that good? Is that healthy? Like,
it's all bad. It's so bad. I am hurting myself. Like I was definitely like getting tense in my shoulder, but I just F key, restart. I could do this faster. Like there was one where I was trying to do this perfect start. And I'm just going to try to describe real quick what I was doing on the keyboard at the instant the level started. So there is this method you need to do where you pick up the machine gun so you get the bomb. And that's the first thing. It's right in front of you. You got to go forward just enough to get that. Immediately aim the mouse down. As you are firing the bomb, you need to sort of drag the mouse down while you are clicking the right click to shoot the bomb and then hit the left click to hit it with the sword. So it sets off immediately. While you're doing that, you need to continue going. Yes.
That's cool.
What?
It's a special technique.
You and me, Jess. You and me.
No.
While you're doing this, you
can't do that.
Keep going forward so that you hit the stairs to get a little bit of speed boost from going down the stairs while looking up. So you jump over the wall at the perfect angle. So you get over it and you can hit the water and then you go faster and you're going the shortest route.
I'm sorry. The bomb has a timer on it that's less than 1 second. That's not fast enough. You're doing it.
And also you get a special jump that like it propels you forward a little bit better and stuff like that. So it's like you don't go as high, so there's less hang time. It's like the perfect angle to get over the wall. But all of that happens in less than a second. When like it's probably less than half a second. You're like just doing that whole motion with the mouse and the keyboard. And I was doing that hundreds of times. And so, and by the end, my hands were like clawing up and I'm like, I really do need to stand up and take a breath. But yeah,
you know what?
And I couldn't stop myself.
I think I'm good with gold, you know? I think
it's fine for the Olympics.
Your sense of you think your sense of speed was altered, Bakalar, by the fact that you were playing this in a vehicle going about 500 miles per hour.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if that had anything to do with it. I can't tell, but like, maybe I'm just good with gold. How about that?
Yeah.
Real quick, my friend posted a tweet about this, and he's like, "Men would rather replay this level a million times than seek therapy." And it's like a picture of like glass port from this game, and I'm like, "Yep, that is correct."
Yeah. Gosh, the mechanics that are coming out, because every time I watch you play Grub, I learn a new thing about this game. Did not know about you could slice the bombs, and apparently you can slice the projectiles too, and get a little.
Yeah, it makes you go faster. Yep.
Wow, damn. Yeah.
Wait, it's faster? I just thought you could parry, guys.
Nope. If you slice a bullet that's fired at you, it gives you a slight boost. You go faster. It's messed up. It's kind of cruel because you think like you've maximized everything, and then you learn something new like that. You're like, oh god, I got to go back to everything.
It's rude.
And redo every level.
Yeah. I hope that the skills that I am building in Neon White will translate into another game, and I'm just going to be an expert and amazing at that, because I feel like I'm nailing enemies and shooting them off at distances in a way that I've never done before. So maybe like I just play as a fast character in Apex and it'll be amazing. Who knows? But you know, maybe we should gather a couple folks or something and play some Neon White together, huh? Maybe maybe not necessarily an invitational, but an open of sorts, like the Neon White open
invitational. Yeah.
The NWO.
Yeah.
Lovely.
The NW. There you go. All right. Yes. Wonder where it's going.
We'll get shirts and everything. We'll get shirts and everything.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Too sweet.
Too sweet, me guys. Any other games y'all want to talk about before we head to the brick and break?
I just want to say that I am making a hot takeouts, but maybe next week it comes out. I keep on tweaking. I keep on tweaking away at this thing. But it's about Stanley Parable, Ultra Deluxe, how we got here, some other stuff that's related to Stanley Parable, Ultra Deluxe. Check it out. Look forward to it. Yeah, that's my plug.
I've been playing the Delicious Last Course, but I don't think I can talk about it yet. So we'll talk about that next week.
I beat Point P, the Netflix game on phones. Very cute. Very cute.
You can beat it. It's just because I started it and like seemed like it was just like try to get as high as you can go, but no, it's like level based.
There are levels or different forgive me, biomes. And you can eventually max out your character, your little Point P person, and there is an apex that you eventually reach.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool.
Bakalar.
I watched the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie, and it is very good.
Did this change your life? Because the way you're looking at us right now, I feel like it changed your life.
It didn't change my life, but it just made me think that like,
movie of the week.
It just made me. So first, it's like a licensing masterpiece. Okay,
sure.
Harry out the wazoo.
They are just, and it's Disney, right? So like, they're just like, all right, I don't know how they got some of these licenses. Like, how do you license?
They threaten people.
They're Disney.
What's up?
Yeah, they threaten people. They're Disney. Yeah,
I understand like how they do it, but they had to do it, which whoever is like the boots on the ground producer of this. I don't know if it's exclusively the Lonely Island guys, but like, my gosh, all that stuff was like really, really well done, to the point where it's like, hey, you see a movie like Rescue Rangers, which is the nostalgia play is done so well and almost like to a precision. You're just like, oh, okay, well, Akiva is like, in his early 40s, and you're like, oh wow, so like he's from that generation. Maybe we shouldn't have let Steven Spielberg direct Ready Player One. Like, maybe we're learning from that. Maybe
Ready Player One was not salvageable as a story to begin with.
I don't know. I disagree. I think you could have made that work. I think with the right people involved, I think that could have worked. Just saying.
Yeah, I think they could have
made
that work.
Like the movie Pixels with Adam Sandler. It's like
honestly,
the same movie.
Like just a different team, they could make it work. They could have. I think the Lonely Island team could have made Space Jam 2 work.
Yes. Totally. Don't ever, nothing like there's surprises all around in movie mate. Like people turn shit around and it fucking comes out great, and people see it and they see it on paper and they're like, look at this flaming pile of fuck. I can't believe. Oh, and it wound up being good. On paper, if you told me about Rescue Rangers on paper, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. And guess what? It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Ready
so-
Player One is bad on paper and off paper. It's just bad.
Look, when I read that, I was like, "Oh, this is fine. This is okay," you know. And yeah, the movie was like even worse. So,
Hey, they're gonna make a sequel. Who knows? They could switch it up. Ready Player 2.
Yeah.
That's right. I
Ready
forgot.
Player
Title.
2.
RPT,
Person-
let's go.
It's the equivalent of getting the Mad Catz controller that you give Player 2 when they come over your house.
Sadness.
I'm already writing the write-ups for all
Yeah,
of
you
the.
just destroyed it. Yeah.
I got it.
Jess, can you please make a takeouts for Ready Player 1?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to watch it.
mean,
Don't make me. I don't want to
think
read
I could
it.
ever watch that movie again. Like if someone was like, "You have to watch Ready Player One," I'd be like, "What's my other option? Like what else do I have to do?"
How much
to avoid
alcohol are you plying
Yeah.
with? Yeah.
Maybe a 40 ounce, perhaps. All right,
talk.
well, I guess that does it for games and all that jazz. We'll be back with the news in just a few. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
All right, how about a word from our sponsor?
I would love one, Jeff.
All right, we're talking about BetterHelp. You know, we're talking about burnout a lot, and we've been through a lot in the last few months with work. You know, look, it's understandable. Everyone goes through it. It is a rough time to be working from home, working in real life, whatever you're doing. Look, life's overwhelming. We get it. And there's no reason why you can't talk to somebody and give your mental health the boost it needs. I do it. You should do it. I'm always of the belief it can't hurt to talk to anybody, right, Jen?
Of course, of course. Just, you know, when you clock out of work, that doesn't mean you should stop working on yourself, Bakalar. Sometimes working on
Right.
yourself involves therapy.
It does. Life and mental health is a 24/7 job. Like I said, BetterHelp is going to provide all that kind of therapy that helps you to prioritize yourself. Talking with someone without a doubt can help you figure out what's causing stress in your life. It's customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. That kind of customization, that kind of preferential treatment, you know, you gotta be happy about getting on board with that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with your own therapist in around 48 hours.
Oh, boy.
Best, right? That's fast. Best of all, Bombcast listeners can get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp by going to betterhelp.com/bombcast. That's betterhelp.com/bombcast. If this is something that you've been thinking about, maybe putting it off, look, hopefully this little incentivization here with that 10% off is the sort of boost you need to start taking care of your mental health. Super important. I'm in therapy. I don't know about Jan.
I am.
Jan is. Everyone I know is. And look,
All the cool kids are doing it, right, Bakalar?
Exactly. It's not a foolproof thing, but it helps. And that's what's the most important thing. So thanks to BetterHelp. Again, betterhelp.com/bombcast. Thanks so much, BetterHelp.
And welcome back to the Giant Bombcast, episode 744. Station identification is something I learned in school. Doesn't apply to a podcast when you're tuning in about an hour into it.
That's right, Jen.
What are the rules?
Skill to learn.
What are the rules for that? Like you have to do it every like 9 minutes or something like that, or what?
Like when you come back from a break, before a song, after a pack of songs and everything. But also, you know, sometimes there are people that tune into the stream of it. Hello, folks at home. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast. Should I do the whole intro again? No? Okay.
Sure.
We're talking about Stranger Things. Man, I gotta say,
No, we
Steve,
weren't.
Best character.
We were-
Dude,
Best character.
Those listening will not know that we were talking about them during the break when we were not recording.
That's what I was saying. We were talking about Stranger Things during the break.
During the break.
Yes.
Steve is the coolest. He like my wife is super into him. I think because he's kind of a hunk, which he is. Speaking of hunks, I think he is a I think he and Alex Boniello could play brothers in some sort of
Oh my God. When they make Stranger Things the musical, it has to be Boniello.
when they turn Stranger Things because it will inevitably head to Broadway in some sort of like bizarro future world.
Joe
Boniello.
Keery, we were talking about. Steve
Yes.
from Stranger Things and friend of
Yeah.
the site, Alex Boniello. And you were
Boniello.
listening to the Giant Bombcast, episode 744. Thanks for subscribing. Anyway.
Whoever
whoever
Alex's agent is, or whoever needs to hear this, he can play Steve in the Broadway adaptation of Stranger Things. What will be the sort of vibe? Like, will they do dance? Like, will it be a dancing sort of thing, like a Michael Jackson Thriller sort of thing? Like, what direction do you think they'll go in?
I think they'll reference Thriller. I don't think the whole thing will be like that.
I have another question. How come The Nightmare Before Christmas has not been on Broadway?
It's too hard to get a guy skinny enough to play the skeleton.
That's
that
true.
Cannot be the answer.
You know what? I'm kind of with Jess on this, because if you look at Beetlejuice the musical, it's always a bigger dude rather than like a little skinny boy. But maybe the bigger dude's just got the pipes. I mean, look at Jack Black. That guy's got pipes. Anyway, we've got some news.
Hold on. This dude Boniel just texted me. He's like, I'm like friends with all those guys, right? I'm like, what? And he sent me a picture of him and the dude who plays
Steve.
Fucking no. Is it Dustin?
What are their times in neon white, Boniello? Probably slow like yours. Probably slow like yours.
Shit.
He's a friend of the site. God. I don't want to lose him as a friend of the site. Stop dissing him.
We can't afford to lose him. Okay.
Literally, like DM me. He's like, "Let's make this happen." I'm like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "As long as we're just beating Dan Riker." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
I just want to collab with him and make Giant Bomb the musical. Is this a thing?
That's not too much to ask.
I just want to comb Alex's hair. That's it.
There was a Nintendo Direct today. At least I was told there was one. I wasn't there to see it myself, of course. But they announced a bunch of video games
so
there.
Worried, Grubb.
Listen, I just stayed up way too late. Last night we were playing Fall Guys, and Mike went on. He's like, "Hey, well, we got that thing in the morning. I have to work and write about it too. We should all go to bed." I'm like, "That's a good point." And then my brain just would not shut off. Anyway. They announced a bunch of third-party partner games that are coming to the Switch. Many of them are debuting on console on the Switch. I figure we could go through all of them, but I highlighted a couple beyond like some of the big ones that I thought might be worth pointing out here. Does any from this list, if you guys can all see it, is there anything you guys definitely want to talk about?
They're already bolded.
I figured you might want to talk about Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection coming next year. You happy?
I have been waiting to jack in for almost 20 plus years. I've been on the edge of my seat with my Ethernet cable ready, with my my online avatars. I've rewatched the Fox 4 Kids series several times because I've been waiting to jack in, and I thought I was only just going to get one of the Mega Man Battle Network games. No, I'm getting 10. That's insane.
How'd they break this down? They said there's a volume 1 and a volume 2, but I think that's if you buy it digitally. I think if you get the physical version, you get all of them in one. It was confusing to me, actually.
I completely missed out on the actual official part of the statement because I was too excited that it was coming. I completely missed that it was also coming out next year. And then I was sad
next
again.
year. Yeah. Yes, coming next year. Let's see. Nier Automata, that's coming October 6th. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes looked pretty good. That's coming next year. Super Bomberman R2. I don't know if they give us a date for that, but that one's not super surprising, although they've been trying to turn that into like a free-to-play game and an online battle royale. This one will have some of that stuff, but Super Bomberman R was one of the better-selling games for the Switch at launch.
Is Bomberman not a skinny Fall Guy?
Well, I mean, wouldn't the Fall Guys be a big boned?
Yeah.
Bomberman? Bomberman came first.
I'm not body shaming here. All right, I'm just talking about forms and stuff.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen the pictures of the Fall Guys and their skeletons and what they like look like under their flesh?
Yeah.
That's out there, and it's official. Like it's put out by the devs, and it's very upsetting. So maybe that could be maybe that's something we need to include somewhere. Pac-Man World Repack is coming October 6th. This is, I believe, a remake or a remaster of Pac-Man World, which is like an old platformer starring Pac-Man. It's back. The pack is back, everybody, and I can tell by your faces you're all very excited.
It's like, no, who wanted this? I don't get it.
I think
Tens of people.
Pac-Man World's okay. It's fine. It was no Super Mario World, obviously, but it was fine. Blanc, which I thought was a gorgeous looking game. It is, I had to write down, just make sure I would remember, text-free story about a fox and a fawn who are friends.
Blanc.
It's coming February 2023. I'm into it.
Yes, Dan Reichert thought the title card was blang because of the formation of the fox and fawn.
Yep. And you all were like, yeah, that guy reads a lot. And then he goes and says blang. Yeah. And there you have it.
Blang.
Typography, man.
Return to Monkey Island is coming 2022. They show off gameplay. It looks real nice. I think that I understood that there was like some fans who were like worried about like what the game might look like. But I'm really into this art style, although I'm not a huge Monkey Island fan. So maybe my opinion doesn't matter so much there. That's coming 2022. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. That's October 20th. They showed a little bit more from that game. I have a little section here called Shadow Drops, or at least games that are dropping today on Switch. Little Noah, Scion of Paradise, Live Alive, the demo is out today, and the save data from that transfers over to the final version of the game, and Portal Companion Collection. Are you guys going to play any of these today? I'm probably going to check out that Live Alive.
What was the Live Alive thing again?
Wait, Live Alive is out today? Oh, it's a demo. Sorry.
The demo.
God, I got it now. I remember. Yep.
Yes.
I'll check that out.
I think that game looks real interesting. I'm not a huge JRPG guy, but I definitely like am into something like that is happening in this game. Let's see, Railgrade this fall. That's when I started watching this morning. RPG Time, The Legend of Wright was like a notebook. It looks like if David Jaffe's Drawn to Death wasn't awful in every way.
Wow.
Yes. That is a comparison that they are looking for.
Yes,
well, hey, you're just like kneecapping this game out of the game.
If it wasn't awful in every way, it's a very important caveat there.
Yeah,
it's like drawn in a notebook, and it's like got the RPG elements. It looks fun. It looks great.
Yeah, it does look really neat.
Then Sonic Frontiers, they are still threatening that this game is coming this holiday.
That trailer looked really rough. I don't know if that was like Switch footage, but it looked arguably worse than the times that I've seen it.
Grub, what's the deal with that game? I feel like I don't know if you know. I'm just going off of what everyone has been that everyone's collectively been talking about that game.
Sure, the vibes that got down to you when you were in Mexico. You're like, people are still talking shit about Sonic.
Yes.
I mean, it just seems like from everyone that was playing it at Key 3. It seems bad. It seems like, or it seems like they don't really know exactly what they need to do with the game to make it very good. Like maybe there's a chance that it is okay to find, but that seems to be like the high end hopes of many Sonic fans. Like this game could be okay. No one's out there talking about how this is going to be a Game of the Year candidate or something, or like a high Metacritic scoring thing.
He's dead.
They got to him. They got him. I knew this was going to happen.
He's really fast.
Oh no!
My internet's being weird. Okay, I have the Ethernet cord now. I should be back now, right?
Okay, you're back now. Yes.
Okay, man.
At some point, Grub, we have to ask: is it you?
Yeah, right. Maybe my EMP just emitting from my skin.
Yeah. Put a key to your forehead right now.
I you know what? I need to put back on my tinfoil underwear. I think that'll help. All right. Let's see. Doraemon, Story of Seasons, Friends of the Great Kingdom. That is one of the many farming and like life sim games that got announced. That's coming this year. Disney Dreamlight Valley, also a life sim with some farming stuff in it, going to early access on September 6th. What do you think about that, Jan?
That is a game definitely made for Disney adults and Disney pervs out there. I already know several of my acquaintances and friends that is right up their alley. I haven't played this myself. Sorry to derail the conversation. Back to what we've been playing. But I've been seeing nothing but trailers for the Disney MOBA, and it looks insane because it had Belle from Beauty and the Beast looking in a mirror, and then she falls through the mirror, and then she's in like Dodo World now, and she has a staff, and she's angry.
What the hell is the Disney MOBA?
I forget what it's called.
Disney Melee Mania. I'm just hearing about this.
It is absolutely insane. Anyway, back to the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, fair enough. That also sounds like a threat. Minecraft Legends is the RTS game that we heard about previously. I think it showed up at the Xbox show. That's coming next year. It's also coming to the Switch. Dragon Quest Treasures, which looks like kind of a follow-up to Dragon Quest Monsters, was it? Something like that. December 9th. That looked like a lot of fun. It looked like, I mean, I think these games have always been like Dragon Quest sort of take on Pokemon. This looks very good, I think. Jan, was it doing anything for you?
I got really into Dragon Quest Builders last year, so I wouldn't mind more Dragon Quest offshoots because I just love the designs of those little slime boys.
Mm-hmm. Mm. And then Square Enix showed up with Harvestella, yet another life sim farming game. That's coming November 4th. It also looked pretty good, but I mean, how many of these? I guess people are going to choose their one, and maybe this one has some appeal in ways the other ones don't.
Farming so hot right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think people are just like on that back end of the Stardew Valley swell, where it's like everyone fell in love with Stardew Valley. We should make one of those, and they're all falling off that wave at the same time. Finally, they ended the show with Persona 5 Royal coming October 21st. That was very exciting because the only ones we were hearing before from people who seem to know were Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden. Those are still labeled as just coming soon. I believe they're coming next year sometime. But Persona 5 Royal this year, playing that on the Switch is probably going to be a lot of fun. That's probably going to be a good way to play that game.
Yeah, we got into this at the end of that talk over of the Nintendo Direct. But if anything, this Nintendo Direct, since it primarily focused on third parties, just made me realize how much more I cannot wait till I get my hands on a Steam Deck, because majority, if not all of these games will eventually also head to Steam and other platforms.
Yes.
Just because, like, you know, Bakalar, you mentioned yourself, like playing Shredder's Revenge on that Steam Deck, it's just the ease of doing that and hooking up whatever controllers you want, right? And then I'm thinking like, you know, I wouldn't mind playing Persona 5 Royal again, like handheld, and then occasionally just popping it onto like my desktop here. So that's where I'm landing on this Direct. I was hoping for Bayonetta 3, but does that classify as like a third party?
I mean, they would stretch. I mean, so they called it a partner showcase. I think you could say Platinum counts as a partner, but they are publishing that game. It is definitely a first party game. So they would probably, and I know people are going to like have all their different definitions of first party and the made up term second party, but if a company's publishing it and they're a platform holder, it's first party. That's just what that means. When a company says it, that's what they mean. But that doesn't mean, like, they've shown similar sort of games at these partner showcases before because the team they were working with was a partner or whatever. But they work with a lot of partners on a lot of games. Like partners like Bandai Namco developed Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. They would never, ever consider that a partner game. I think Bayonetta 3 still is. So I talked a bit about this on Game Mess Mornings yesterday when we were talking about like what could be in this show today and what other stuff is happening. The Metroid Prime remaster is still coming this holiday, and they have 2 and 3 ready to go. They need to announce that is coming this year. Metroid Prime's anniversary is in November. That'll be its 20th anniversary. That's coming up pretty fast. So they're going to have to talk about that date here pretty soon. And then they have to give us Bayonetta 3's release date, which probably is also still going to make this year. And there's a lot of other things along those lines. I'm still hopeful. I don't know. Like we know about Metroid Prime Remaster. I don't know if Zelda Twilight Princess HD and the Wind Waker HD are going to make this year. But that 2-pack for $60 sounds like it should still be possible this year. So there's a lot of stuff like along those lines. They need to give us details for remasters, games we already know about that need dates. I still think we get another Nintendo-focused, probably mini direct in July. And so that's where we would hear about Bayonetta 3 and stuff like that. But I mean, as far as this showcase goes, it was, I mean, I don't know. Jess, like, was there anything here that appealed to you?
I was asleep. It was so early.
So was someone else, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Got him. Last one.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's it.
Deserved.
Well, I'm you know, not a lot of stuff here for me. I like Nier Automata or Automata, however you want to pronounce that. I'm excited for Monkey Island, but as someone who really appreciates like Double Fine and Tim Schafer, and I know that's Lucas Games and stuff, who didn't get to play those as a younger kid and like I haven't really gone back to it. It's like, oh, maybe this is my time to like really get into this and appreciate it. So I mean, that's exciting. And I'm so sickly curious about Sonic Frontiers. What's going to happen with that thing? What's going to happen with that little guy? We'll find out
signing
eventually.
up for Sonic Frontiers, Jess? That sounds like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, do I get to sign up?
It's been written. It has been written.
On the
Ooh,
Sonic
okay.
beat. Yep.
I'm on the Sonic beat because I know who Silver the Hedgehog and Escape are.
That's your punishment for knowing Silver the Hedgehog. Exactly.
Just enough. I know just enough about Sonic
Sure,
to be
that's all
like,
you need
what's
to
going
know.
on here? This little freak.
Let's see. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. It wasn't like they showed a little bit of that in this thing today. That is also getting a separate Ubisoft showcase tomorrow, June 29th at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Who knows if I'll be awake by then either. I mean, who could say? But that's that game's coming up soon too. I would like to see a little bit more of it. Although I don't know how much. Like, I'm already convinced I'm going to play it. It doesn't look that much different from the first one. I'm kind of like, okay, well, what are they going to show us? But I suppose this is their opportunity to prove like it's something worth getting excited about. So, yeah. Let's see. There was a Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct, and I don't know what else to say about that. I kind of like they're like, here's this video game, and it's like not like a lot of news there. But I mean, does anyone here care about the Xenoblade games? Because they're just not for me.
I really liked 1 and 2. I'm waiting for 3, I guess.
Okay.
All I think about is just, what's all this then? And then like my sword talking to me about.
Oh, is that the really British one? Which is the one with Shulk?
That
yes.
Well, yes. No, that's not.
Is it Gears? Xenogears or Xenoblade?
It's Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Xenosog.
Smash Brothers. Yeah, that's just Smash Brothers.
That's just Smash Brothers. Yeah.
Yes.
That's my opinion.
Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
Of Xenoblade is I don't know the difference between Xenoblade, Xenogears, and Xenosaga, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, her name was Cosmo or Cosmos. What?
Who? What?
The robot lady in the PS2 game? Never mind.
Oh, for Xenosaga? Oh. Right, yes.
I thought it was Cosmos. I felt like a fool.
Let's see. We talked about Metroid Prime Remaster coming this holiday. So next up, Horizon 2074. We talked about this before. The TV show based on the Horizon Zero Dawn franchise. They are making the show, and that is the name according to a website that has the crew as part of the union in Canada. So like the Directors Guild of Canada, Ontario, posted this up. It said Horizon 2074. It had a list of the crew that's working on this. I understand a lot of that crew was just finishing up the Lock and Key show on Netflix, and they're mostly going to stick together and move on. Jen, you worked in TV production. That's like an odd situation, right? Like for a crew to stay together like that?
Not too odd. I mean,
not too odd. Okay.
Yeah, the Mythbuster crew was pretty much the same crew for like a very long time.
Yeah, but if like a show ended and then you were starting another show, would that crew still kind of stick together?
I guess unless it's like a defined studio where people have like set jobs and everything. It isn't too out of the realm of possibility just because, folks have their people that they really like to work with and everything. So they tend to hire. Sense. Also depends don't forget where they shoot stuff. Yeah, scheduling.
Like if the scheduling is more convenient too, right? Because everyone's on their own sort of like time schedule with other shows. If it ends together, it's easier.
Right. That seems to be exactly what's happening here. So then, as the name suggests, there will be stuff that takes place well before the games take place.
2074, yeah.
2074. People pointed out like that is after, like canonically in the games, and this show is supposed to like fit in with the canon of the games. But people point out that 2074 takes place after when like all life on Earth, like biological life, was destroyed or whatever. I would like say, like, don't read into the name too much. Probably like the story will probably have many explanations for why we are set somewhat in that time period.
Yeah,
and it could be a lot of stuff leading up to 2074 as well. It could like here's 15 years before that, and here's like how we get to the worst of the worst in 2074. Like you just don't know yet.
You move that 7 around and it changes everything. I mean, maybe it's 2704, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, now this makes sense with what the games are. So don't invest too much.
Yeah, and so we should be hearing about the show again here pretty soon. A lot of the people also working on this are working on the Boys, and the Boys season 4 is getting underway much sooner than that. So it's probably going to take some time for after that before they really get going with Horizon 2074. So that's like in pre-production is what I've been told just today.
I mean, if this is the variety section of the Bombcast, I would also like to say that it's pretty dope that Succession has begun principal photography on season 4.
I'm happy for you.
Excellent news for me and only me. Thank you.
again, as what the name suggests, this is like, okay, there will be stuff that takes place in the timeline of the games and stuff like that, but then it's going to show the stuff earlier as well.
I think I'm just still not confused, but I guess intrigued that there is enough of a fandom or clamoring for a Horizon TV show. Because like Halo, I feel like makes sense because Halo's been around for so long now.
Who's clamoring though? Like it's Sony doing the clamoring, right? This is Sony being like, we have a big IP and we have television and movie production and we have experience in this stuff, and we found that there's ways to maximize the potential profit by going in all these different directions with it. I mean, this is their strategy for everything. They're making a Twisted Metal game because they're making a Twisted Metal show, and they're making a Twisted Metal show because they're making a Twisted Metal game. It is that like circular of logic now at Sony for a lot of these things.
I mean, who's paying for this? Like, who's paying for this show?
I mean, it's Sony. I mean, this is a Sony property. It's Sony making. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Let's see here. Right as we were actually, we were recording that first segment about games. This came out of Variety. Fallout Amazon series casts Kyle MacLachlan, Zelia Mendez-Jones, and Aaron Moten. I'm not too familiar with Zelia and Aaron, but Kyle MacLachlan of Twin Peaks fame, he strikes me as a mega Fallout dad character, right? Like just unbelievable. Like that is going to be the character's dad, and who's going to set the whole thing. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you are chasing after Kyle, or the show is chasing after Kyle MacLachlan with the main character and all that stuff. Like this is the show that previously casted casts Walton Goggins as one of the characters in there, who's also extremely a Fallout character as well.
Love
So
Walton Goggins.
me too.
Yeah.
That's a real name.
Yeah.
Walton Goggins.
Well,
Yeah,
you
it's like
probably
it's like a Star Wars
probably
name.
recognize him.
Yeah.
But
you
Walton
recognize
Goggins. He looks like a Walton Goggins as well. As soon as you see an image of him.
This guy.
That guy, right?
Exactly.
Doesn't he look like a Walton Goggins?
The guy with the
He
skull.
Yes,
he
exactly.
looks like
Which-
a skeleton, but like a handsome skeleton.
Cast
Right.
this guy as Jack Skellington in the Broadway.
Oh, there we go.
adaptation.
Yes,
Problem
if
solved.
my man could sing, which I don't doubt, like yes, for sure.
So that's exciting. I know. I like Kyle MacLachlan. So
I
that's
think
fine. He does-
I don't think he'll be the
love
dad.
him.
I don't think he'll be
You don't
the
think
dad
so?
in the show. I think he'll be the
Okay.
zaddy in the show.
Eddie.
You're right. Yep.
Gotta get in every episode.
I hope he
People
brings
don't-
that like Twin Peaks cheesy charisma
Yes.
like to it. That would just be perfecto. I would love
feel
that
like-
so much.
People don't talk enough about his Portlandia role either. Like him playing the mayor of Portland in that show. Like
He nailed
the
it.
best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
John Cena reportedly urged Nintendo to make a new 2D Metroid game in 2017. This came according to Giant Bomb's Dan Reichard, who also formerly worked for WWE. This is not just a
Who?
write-up by VGC. I don't know. This is some character on the internet, I think. The 17-time WWE champion told Nintendo reps how much he'd love a new game in the series. Dan tweeted, during this photo shoot in 2017, and for people who don't know, this is the photo shoot where John Cena is sitting in a glass cube in the desert playing a Switch. Which is just a weird thing, but like, yeah, okay. While he was there, he said, hey, make a Metroid. Cena reportedly told the Nintendo reps how much he wanted a new 2D Metroid. It's funny, the idea of him just like repeating it over and over, like, yeah, we heard you, man. Like, we don't make the games. What do you want us to do? We're
Okay,
Nintendo
John
America.
Cena. Okay,
Yeah.
you get it.
When Metroid Dread came out years later, he was sent a copy by Nintendo. Cena's people sent an email back saying, John loves it.
Oh.
So I think we know who to thank for getting Metroid Dread finally.
Thank you, Cena, and congratulations
John
yesterday
Cena.
as well.
Oh, what happened yesterday? I
What
missed
happened
it.
yesterday?
Yeah, it was like
a
John Cena's
wrestling?
anniversary and stuff. Everyone congratulated him. What a nice.
Isn't he famously not married? I think you're probably talking about a different anniversary.
Oh yeah, he is an
John
oddball.
Cena. John Cena single.
Yes, yes.
Jess,
Yes.
but
What's
you
wrong
aren't.
with him? What's wrong with him?
Well, he was engaged for a very long time. I don't listen. I'm not the one to answer these questions. What's wrong with him, Jan? Tell us.
He's married to
I mean, you
acting.
can't see him. That's the thing.
I don't know what I expected. Former Nintendo staff member Krista Yang, who worked as part of Nintendo's editorial team at the time, corroborated this story, saying he did say how much of a Metroid fan he was. He's a really nice guy. So there you go.
Oh,
Good.
Dan corrects us. He is married now. Good for him
Okay.
and his spouse. About time someone snatched up that hunka chunka.
That big piece of meat.
That Dr. Thugonomics himself.
The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker had a role on its team called Tingle Specialist, whose job was to think about Tingle all day and night. And this is by Cameron Coe over at GameSpot. I'm just going to read this because
I do this for free. I don't see why this person had
absolutely
a job title for it.
Man, I've got years of experience doing this job. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker had a Tingle specialist on the development team whose sole role was working on everything related to Tingle and his various fairy friends. That tidbit and many, many others come via a new Did You Know gaming video diving deep on Wind Waker's creation using newly translated interviews and magazines. According to the video, the honor of Tingle Specialist went to developer Toshiaki Suzuki, who said in an interview that he had thought of only Tingle for months. One of his coworkers said, "From dusk till dawn, Suzuki thought about nothing but Tingle. It drove him crazy."
Yeah.
Jess,
This
I know
is
what
the best thing I've ever
is.
heard.
I know what the next hot takeouts is.
I love
am
Tingle.
the Tingle specialist.
Yeah, man, this is incredible to me. As part of these interviews as well, they found out that Miyamoto literally cringed when he first saw the Wind Waker art style. At least that's according to IG Aonuma. But he came around on it, and so everyone else who was like at that time being like, "I want my realistic Zelda." Well, apparently Miyamoto was one of you as well. So
Wow.
there you go.
You hate to
Wild
see it.
if true.
You hate to see it.
Learning so much this week. This is really insightful.
I'd
But
like
that
to
was
bring you
just for
education.
just for Wind Waker. Do you think like their job was to do like the Tingle Tuner GBA like combo
Right.
thing that they were doing there, or do you think they were involved in like the other applications of Tingle in specifically Wind Waker?
Apply Tingle directly to the forehead. Yeah. I think you're right about both. I think it's probably the Tingle Tuner stuff and the GBA connectivity. And then probably also just anytime he showed up in the game. Like, I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. What a human. Steam Deck production increased and Q3 order fulfillment is beginning now. This is from Jenny Chung. Valve announced that it has increased Steam Deck production and it will be shipping more than double the number of Steam Decks every week. Along with the news of increased production, Valve also announced that the beginning of Q3 order fulfillment, which is starting now, people in Q3 should start to begin receiving emails after June 30th. The last of the Q2 emails have also been sent out. If you're in Q2 and still expecting an email, Valve says it's on its way. To check the status of your Steam Deck pre-order, log into your account and check their page. So I'm not too surprised by this. I think they've done a pretty good job of keeping up with like what they said they were going to do. And it sounds like people who were in Q2, like once Q2 is over in like 2 days, they should have gotten out to everybody, and immediately they're going to start up. The doubling of shipments, though, it sounds like maybe things might speed up even in Q3. Is there anyone who has like Q4 yet that we've heard of?
I
don't think so.
I think I'm at the tail end. Jess, you didn't pre-order one, right?
I don't think so. No.
And I was wondering,
I say that because it's my partner that's on the cusp of being like, we're getting this new thing. Like we just got our play date delivered yesterday, and it's like, oh, cool, nice.
All right, I have one of those somewhere. I should.
Cool
look
little
at that
guy.
thing.
I broke the crank on mine. It's no longer accurate for the
No
surfing
way.
game. I was moving and I picked up I had it in my hoodie pocket, and I picked up the hoodie by the side, and it just fell right out of the hoodie pocket, right onto the cement.
Yeah, I'm
And then
sure that's what happened.
It's exactly what happened. It was in the ground. What? When you like was in a weed fueled rage? Like what? No.
I think you don't know your own strength, is what I'm saying.
I picked up my hoodie, it dropped out of a pocket, and then it was on the cement. And then later that night, I went to go play the surfing game that I still love, and I was like aiming down, and my surfer was going up, and I would reset it, and I got it out, and it would be fine for a second, and then I talked to the PR team, like, hey, this broke, and they're like, here's what you could do, and then I'm like, I feel bad, I don't want you guys to like replace it or anything, so I just kind of didn't respond anymore.
You heard it here first, folks. Jeff Grubb cranks too hard.
I crank too hard. I crank on the cement and break things. All right. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout has reached 20 million players in its first 48 hours of going free to play. The game also launched for the first time on Xbox and Switch, so this is not too surprising, but it illustrates exactly what like Epic wants. Epic acquired Mediatonic, right? I believe that's right. And that's why it's like using EGS and all that stuff. But you go to free to play, you get a lot of bumps on Twitch or whatever, social media, 20 million players immediately after that. The game's probably doing exactly what they were hoping it would do, and it's a winning strategy. Excuse me. It sounds like it's working for them really well. Into the Breach is getting an advanced edition. This is from Subset Games, the developer of the game. The new advanced edition will have, it's a free content update, and it's coming to all platforms where it's already available. So if you have the game on Steam or wherever, Switch, it's just going to update automatically. But they're also launching a mobile version of the game through Netflix. So if the Netflix gaming tab on your mobile thing, if you have an account, you just click over the mobile thing and it comes as part of that subscription. Both versions, the mobile version and the free update, will be available on July 19th. The advanced edition features new squads, weapons, and pilots, as well as new enemies, enemy bosses, and challenges and things like that. They're also launching a physical version through Fangamer for the Nintendo Switch.
Hell yes. Sign me the F up, buddy.
Me too. I love Into the Breach. This, like any excuse to go back and play that. But this sounds really substantial. I'm super into everything they're doing here.
Some of the best tiles in a game in the past 5 years.
That's right. The tile of the generation. Absolutely. It's the kind of thing where I'm like, I might even play this on my phone through Netflix. Like, I already have Netflix. I have a phone. Maybe I will also be playing it there. Is this the kind of thing? First of all, have any of you? I mean, obviously, Jan played Point B through Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, do any of you have any interest in checking out more games through Netflix?
Wait, how did you play it again? Like, what did you have to do to play it? I forget. I know you answered this, but I forget.
There's a tab on the Netflix app where it says there's like TV, movies, and then games.
Yeah.
Click on there. There's a list of games, and then it takes you into what seems like a link inside, like for Android, for me, the Google Play Store, where it's like, okay, now you can get to it through this like private link over into the Google Play Store and download it.
That you're my Android buddy now.
Yes, I always. I've had it from the beginning.
Nice.
I also have an Android. No one's ever.
there you go.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm on my island.
Ways outnumbered. Get them.
Sucks to suck, Jan. So my question is, do they do the Netflix splash screen before you play the game? Does it go like wow, like that?
I'm not playing Point B through the Netflix app. It was a separate app I had to download, but it does do the.
Yes, it does. Look at this, Point B, right
Cool.
there.
Oh, your video froze. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I guess.
fair
It's DRM. You know, they don't want you to
Big-
take
big
screenshots.
Netflix,
They
they
don't want you to
want
show the
you to show
game
it.
either.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
I
And
haven't
it
fooled
just did the
around with
long
any
end.
of that.
Look, I think it's fine as long as it's easily accessible. Like, I don't care where your game is, to be honest. On a phone, it's much more, it's not like different platforms. It's all the same platform, just a different app. So it's not as difficult to navigate those waters, right? So,
Yeah,
I think that's
it seems like an Apple Arcade alternative that is universal across everything. So yeah, it seems like it's a good idea. Also, Into the Breach on mobile, fantastic. Chris Pratt declares his Mario voice is unlike anything you've ever heard.
God, what does he
shit.
mean? God, what does he mean?
I'm sorry, but like, what are you saying? What are you fucking saying?
I love the idea of he's not just saying it's unlike any other Mario you've heard. It's unlike anything you've ever heard. What kind of Cthulhu-ass screeching could be possibly
Who
like?
says that?
What do you mean? I've heard lots of sounds in my life, dude.
This is the headline. We might be being slightly unfair, not to like ruin the joke by being like fully truthful, but that's what I'm going to do. He says it's unlike anything you've heard in the Mario world is how that actually ends. Like the headline doesn't capture all of that, but still, and it's like he's like trying to explain himself, and you can tell he's like petering out as he's like talking in the quote, and he's getting to the end, and he's like, it's unlike anything you ever like. It sounds like a post game interview that someone's having, and he's looking for the words like he does with all of these interviews about Mario, where he's like, "Oh, I saw Mario in the laundry mat. It was an arcade machine, and boy, we didn't have any quarters, but I thought about playing that real hard.
But I stole someone's wish from the wishing well by stealing a quarter from the. What are you saying? What are you saying?
And so it just feels like one of those, but that doesn't mean still, unlike anything you've ever heard in the Mario world, is still a very threatening proposition to me.
It's ominous.
It's ominous. And this comes on the tail end of, I think we talked about this on the Bombcast last week, but we didn't. It was on one of the Game Ass mornings, where the producer and, the head of Illumination, Chris Meledandri, who's also like working with the board over at Nintendo, He was like, oh, like as an Italian, I could say this is not going to be offensive. And it's like, okay, whoa. We didn't know that was the problem.
Yeah,
like is that the problem?
Was that what everyone was freaking out over?
Definitely not. It's just the idea of Chris Pratt playing Mario is the funniest concept I've ever considered. And now we're talking about like
oh man,
he's gone.
Now Chris Pratt got him.
Chris Pratt got him.
I love how he's really, it's unfortunate that his internet keeps cutting out, but it is fortunate the timing of it. I'll tell you what.
I think you're back, Grub. I think you're back.
Thank you. All right, man. I'm shutting stuff down over here. I don't know what's going on.
The thing I don't understand. Okay, so now I feel like I've come back around on the whole thing. Not that I'm like excited for Chris Pratt to fucking voice Mario, but I also think there's now a non-zero chance, right? Where like, this is the greatest thing. Like it's possible now that we've gone all the way through the event horizon. We're come out back the other side and we're just like, yeah, it turns out Chris Pratt really fucking nailed Mario and everyone's psyched about it. And I just don't know if I want to live in that world.
Let's see. Halo Infinite's melee desync isn't being fixed because devs have been allocated elsewhere. This is according to 343. Is a lot of players are complaining that when you hit someone with like a weapon, the butt of your gun in Halo, it's not registering, and they've been complaining about this. And some developers took to Reddit to explain like what's happening with the game and answer questions, and this came up. And they said the too long didn't read of it is the devs that would work on these fixes have been allocated to other Infinite work. Their work has had some knock-on benefit to our solutions for these problems, especially around movers like players and vehicles, on object devices like elevators, pistons, and bridges, but not around the melee and around the wall shots. These devs are coming home to Sandbox soon. And basically, to translate that is they are working on some other stuff that has similar or causing similar problems, but in bigger ways. And they're going to get around to this eventually. But I think that's just, again, this is an illustration of where the development team at 343 is, where they're putting out a lot of fires to the point where players are like, this is a big problem. This thing's bothering me a lot. And they're like, well, we have no one to work on that. That sounds like, I mean, maybe that's normal, but maybe their transparency makes it seem like, oh, this is a big issue that they can't get around to fixing that. But it doesn't sound good, right? Especially for a game that people want to be in better shape than it is. Like, it makes it sound like we want more content. Well, we can't even fix this major problem to the game, let alone get content. That's what it sounds like to me.
Right. And I mean, they had that controversy around Juneteenth. So I feel like it's just been a hard time to work at 343.
Right, exactly. And it's like, that stuff can hurt morale over time, and that stuff can evaporate really quickly, and then problems don't get fixed, let alone new content get made.
343 got to him too. Yeah.
Got him.
No, he is a targeted man. Let me tell you.
I feel like they've had an unfortunate time because I really, really loved the beginning of Halo Infinite with like the campaign, the multiplayer. Grub is completely gone now. We're going to need to vamp extendedly.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Well, I feel like I don't hear about a lot of people still talking about playing that game.
Yeah.
And we are less than a year removed from its release, right? So like,
do you think like the injection of like when multiplayer eventually rolls out will breathe new life into it, or? Yeah,
I think it'll get a shot in the arm, but like, let's be honest. I mean, this game is, I don't know, has it reached the point where like, I don't know if I go back to it and try that out. I feel like I'm approaching that time where like, maybe I've uninstalled the game. Maybe I don't have it on PC or Xbox anymore.
Yeah, I think I've reached that point actually. Like my friend group of bros stopped playing Halo a while ago. So it might, the thing that will bring them back is if campaign comes back, just like Jeff Grubb is back.
Yes. Yeah, I'll play like online duos with that, like campaign and stuff, online co-op. I restarted Discord. I figured that's because my internet connection speed seems totally fine. So
Discord.
I'm hoping it's Discord's fault. Coming for me.
Yeah.
Sega and IGN were like, here is a sound clip, and what do you guys think this is? And they said this is going to be the game that steals the shows of the summer, is how they put it. And while they were doing that, I'm like, I could tell the way they phrased this sentence about how this is going to be the game that steals the show. Like, that is more important even than the noise that they are putting out. But the noise sounded like, if you've seen Star Trek 4, the sound that the spaceship plays, before you put it underwater and you're like, realize, oh, this is an aquatic mammal. So I was convinced that it was Echo the dolphin. We slowed down the speed of the clip and everything. But it's not. It was just the sound a hyena makes, because Sega and Creative Assembly are making a game called Hyenas, which is a new multiplayer sci-fi heist shooter. And this is the team behind Alien Isolation, a few other things.
I was hoping it'd be a new friend of Sonic's was announced, and it's a hyena.
Yes, Bronze the hyena is a friends with Silver the Hedgehog. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is not.
Somebody draw Bronze the hyena. Thank you in advance.
Now, it's not totally unrelated, because you play a crew of humans basically trying to perform a heist, I believe, on a spaceship. There are 2 other teams of 5 other than your team of 5. And then there's NPC controlled guards guarding this ship. And so you're all interacting with each other, trying to get the treasure on this ship, which is relics left from Earth, which I think include Sonic dolls and things like that. So, yeah, maybe Silver the Hedgehog's going to be in there after it all, and we'll get Bronze the hyena.
Finally.
If you guys have, like, I don't know if you guys have checked in on this. I am looking at it, and I'm at a point where this stuff is glazing over me, and I just cannot register it anymore. It's just another space multiplayer shooter thing where you're playing rounds. I don't know. It's hard to get excited until I play it and know it's good.
Right.
I
hope
it does
good.
not have its hooks in me, for sure.
And then finally, the Intellivision Amico trademark has been abandoned. This is yet another wheel coming off the buzz over there with our friends. Our friend Tommy Tellerico is just having a hard time over there. I just put what a Reddit, like, this was the top Reddit comment on the thread, and I'm just going to read it because I think it sums it up really nice. So to recap, they have no money for refunds. They have no patents. Their head office is closed. They're not in good standing with the state of California, and now they can't afford the nominal fee to keep some of their trademarks going. And there are those who still believe in this thing. Well, there's always going to be people who believe in things like this until the beyond the very end. But
Those
Totally.
perverts.
These freaks.
yes, absolutely. But yeah, it doesn't sound like I don't think a television Amico is ever going to come out.
Nope. It's not.
Yeah. No.
This is over. I mean, is this not the nail in the coffin, or
No,
what are we
it
waiting
not
for?
necessarily. This is definitely just another pin on the pile or whatever. Because like filing a trademark, you could come. This has happened with like major corporations with major brands that they are still actively using. They just overlook it, but it's still not great. It's like
okay. Well,
I never thought there'd be something that would make the Ouya look good.
right, and this makes the
Ouya
Ouya look
came out.
fantastic.
Yeah.
compared
Ouya
yes.
came out, man.
I held it.
This thing is about as powerful as an Ouya too. Like it's not that much more powerful than if it were to come out. Like it's like a couple generations beyond the Ouya. If it came out, it still would not matter in any way. It's just not a good concept from the ground up. But that does it for the news, Jan. That's all I have for you guys this week. I'll be back with more news tomorrow with Game S Mornings, though, everybody. So if you want to tune in for that, check that out.
The Intellivision story is just rubbernecking at this point. Like,
Yes.
it is just crossing it while on the highway, just being like, "Good Lord, look at that."
We've known for
shit.
quite some time that this was a never going to really manifest into anything real. So yes, every time something goes wrong at this point, it is just, let's just throw it out the end of the thing because it's fun to talk about a television, Amico. Yes.
Yeah, it's the rare time you log back into Facebook and for some reason you get an update on the friend you don't quite care about. You just friended to be polite, and you're like, oh hey, that's how you're doing.
Third divorce, huh? Sorry about that.
They're a magician now. That's cool.
Yeah. And while you've been listening to the Giant Bombcast, episode 744, that about wraps up the news segment. We're going to take a quick break. Stay handsome, stay pretty. We'll be back with some emails. Welcome back, everybody, to the Giant Bombcast, episode 744. If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, you're welcome to a sunny 63 degrees. Traffic right now? Don't know. Don't go to a gaming podcast to learn about traffic, but you can come here to learn about fun stuff like what we've been playing, Bakalar's adventures in Mexico, various other things, and emails. Jess O'Brien, what is the email address to send emails to?
Ah, shit. 707 exit flu.
That's
works.
voicemails.
Bombcast at Gmail.
Gcast at bombmail.
Bombmail.
Bombcast at giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to. Bakalar, you looked like you were going to say something.
I'm really tired.
I was gonna say like you know, you never hear someone do the temperature and then just be like, bah, and that's what you did. It was really good. You're like,
I thought it was great and compelling radio, Bakalar. You lay off our boy.
I just love
am
that.
gunning. I am gunning to get us a daytime Emmy. Somehow we're going to get a daytime Emmy. Whatever I need to do to the Bombcast.
Podcast.
You can get, if Kelly Clarkson can get 12, we can get 1.
It was Bakalar wasn't privy to this whole thing, right? Because we did this on UPF when he was in Mexico. We're gonna win a daytime Emmy. It's relatively easy.
Yeah, we can do it.
We'll fill you in. We'll fill you in. We got lots of ideas.
Yeah, I know that wasn't in the production meeting, but I'll put it on Asana.
Win an Emmy. That's the name of the
Future
task.
plans, win an Emmy.
This week. Win
In
an
production.
Emmy. First email comes from Michael from Chicago. You're playing an action game or platformer that has a run button, but it also has a dodge roll. The dodge roll feels like it might be a little bit faster than running, maybe 5%, but you're really not sure. How do you get from A to B in the game? Do you hold down the run button, or are you dodge rolling every inch of the map? Michael from Chicago.
I run, and then whenever I feel the urge, I am rolling. I am not constantly rolling. This actually really bugs me. I wish game developers would just make it so that when you have a character that can run, that is when they're the fastest.
I like, what is that? I don't like. It
It's for
reminds me
speed. It's for speed runners and speed run freaks, which I guess I shouldn't point any fingers, but like, I'm not one of like. I'm like not trying to maximize every game, and it's like if I start going down that path, that's a real dark path. That's way too scary for me. So I am not just rolling in a straight line to the next thing. I am running, and then like when I get bored of just running, I'm jumping and then rolling and all that stuff. I'm mixing it up.
There's a couple of dependencies here. I think it depends on like the vibe of the game. Do I like it? Am I trying to rush through to get it over with? Because usually I don't. I like to take it all in, stop and smell the flowers and stuff like that, explore little corners. I don't play a lot of games where you have to like maximize your movement very much, but I feel like it also depends on how annoying is the sound effect for the roll or the dodge.
Right.
Because like Link constantly going like ha 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 is like
It's awesome and amazing and the best part in a video game. Yep, I get you.
terrible. So if the sound's annoying, I will not roll hardly ever.
It reminds me of like that little twitchy move that that a lot of people used to do. I definitely used to do it in like the old CS days where you would like switch to knife real quick.
Yes.
I feel like that's still a thing now.
Oh yes, it is.
All the FPS is where you're like a little lighter on your feet when you're holding a knife and not a gun. But that was like that almost felt more of like a Twitch sort of like, I don't know. It seemed like a habit more than like this is a skill I need to do. So I don't know.
I had a really weird habit in the Tony Hawk games where instead of just skating to destinations, I would just do like the boneless move. So it's like up, jump,
right,
repeatedly over and over again because I felt like I had more speed that way. I don't know. Maybe that was just my.
If you're going up the ramp, doing a boneless gets you higher. That's not what you're talking about?
Well, like going from point A to point B, I would just be hop, hop.
Okay.
Hop.
Okay. So you're doing the equivalent of the. Okay, I get you now.
Bunny hopping.
Yes, I guess. Yeah.
That's
Tony,
messed up, man.
Not bunny hopping. So I guess Tony Hawking. From point A to point B. Okay. We have. We spoke a lot about Sonic. So we have a Sonic email. Hi guys, another degenerate Sonic fan email for you. This morning I came across a tweet with art of Sonic embodying the traditional shield elements from Sonic 3, except Bubble was replaced with an Ice Sonic. There's an image to the doc if y'all are looking.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I love them.
I came up with the idea of water style Sonic that could breathe indefinitely and has an 8-way directional swim mechanic, but I'm asking you guys, what does Sonic need in order to be fresh and bring new perspective to the games they're featured in? Daniel from Parts Unknown.
I mean, you're just doing like Odyssey Sonic, essentially.
Maybe Sonic just needs to wear some overalls.
Yeah.
Right?
Have a hat.
Sonic needs to do some farming, just chill out a little.
Calm down.
I want him to be able to like have the Popeye power up where he just actually eats something that makes him more powerful, and it should be chili dogs.
Yeah.
But then like what changes about his appearance when he eats chili dogs? I don't want to like.
He just gets like a big belly.
Yeah, it's like I didn't want to go in there like, oh, he gets fat. Like that's not fun anymore.
No, but it's,
Yeah, fair. It maybe he gets the itis and he gets real sleepy and just falls asleep. And
well, like there was a mod like that. There was a mod like that where every ring you collect is basically, I don't know if they're onion rings or what, but every ring Sonic collects, he gets chubbier and slower until he can't move, which is a little adorable, but also a little rude. But it was like it basically changed the game where it's like you have to minimize how many rings you're carrying, and if you get a whole batch in a row, your game is basically over. So that kind of definitely changed like how you go about the levels. So it was
for some reason he said in Dana Gould's voice, "It goes straight to my hips." So
the thing with Sonic, like I don't know those. It's very tough to go back to those games. I don't enjoy them in a way that I think I remember enjoying them. And now when I go back and think about really like have a good old think about those Sonic 1 through Knuckles games, and I'm sort of just like, yeah, you went fast, but like even the fast part is like not great, and you're just sort of like on autopilot, and like maybe this game's not a great platformer at all. Maybe this is just like a good character and like a fun thing, and I don't know. That's sort of where I stand. I think I think that newer the Sonic Mania was all right.
Sonic Mania is good.
Yeah.
That's good, but yeah.
There's this, Jess, I apologize in advance, but there's a thing in wrestling when someone has reached mainstream, like The Rock, John Cena, where or like when a wrestler's past his prime, that it just kind of gets sad when they come back to do a wrestling match, and that they should just stay where they're at now. Like, The Rock, he's great. He's a very athletic person. I don't need to see him wrestle anymore. Thank you for your time. You can keep doing the Hollywood stuff. I think Sonic is done with video games.
Yeah, he's succeeding everywhere else.
What was the term? You didn't tell me the term.
Oh, there's no specific term, but like,
you were acting like there was
wrestling again.
Okay, I
thought the actual meaning of je ne sais quoi. That's what it really means. People have been lying this entire time.
I told you this months ago. Like my kid could not give a shit about the games. He could not care less about Sonic in a video game. Thinks it's fucking stupid. Okay.
Damn.
It's like, yo, Jim Carrey, Handsome Hank, whatever his name is, like, yes, those guys and Mr. Ben Schwartz, please. That is how I will. how I order my Sonic at the restaurant.
Well, like Sonic was very like of his time in that he had that kind of '90s tude to him, and I feel like the only way to kind of like get that feeling back is to like. I like semi-sincerely but a little jokingly kind of recapture that 90s attitude shit because like, oh, Sega does what Nintendo don't and all that shit.
Could you BoJack Horseman? Could you do a BoJack Horseman thing where it's like he's over the hill in the games and you have to deal with like him not being able to run as fast or something?
They did that in Nuts and Bolts already.
That's right. Fair enough.
They shouldn't do that where Sonic just can't hang anymore, right? He just can't run. It's just his knees. His knees are shot to shit. That's what it is.
That's why I can't run.
And he fucking just has to like kind of take it easy. And he barely breaks the sound barrier. But that's the thing. That's what we should be leaning into is like.
But there are still lots of like animal friends that he's friends with. So like furries, respect. You're still going to get your stuff in this game as well. Absolutely.
It's gonna be fine. But just Sonic, a little reality check for our blue friend here.
I think so. You get a break from this Bakalar because you were on vacation. But every time we brought up Sonic for the last like 2 weeks, it's pretty much been the same conversation. So I think our rule is next time we talk about Sonic on the Bombcast or Game S Mornings, we're gonna say nice things. We're gonna say nice things about Sonic. We're gonna be nice to Sonic next time. Yeah. So there's my promise to you.
I want what's best for Sonic, but I don't know what that is.
No one does.
Yeah, that's like ending a relationship. It's like I want the best for you, but I don't.
I can't give it to you.
Yeah.
We don't have all the answers.
We got a couple emails about rotisserie chickens. I forget why. I think maybe we brought up rotisserie
We
chickens. I
definitely
guess
talked about this.
Is
Sure.
this nugget related somehow?
No,
this
we
is
definitely
not
talked about-
nugget related.
We definitely talked about the
Nug-
rotisserie chickens at Costco
Nugget
or
adjacent.
wherever. Yeah.
Nugget adjacent. I'm not going to read that first rotisserie chicken email because it's disgusting. But Steven in Melbourne writes, last week you mentioned supermarket rotisserie chickens. In Australia, pre-cooked whole chickens come in small plastic bags with a convenient handle to carry,
Yes.
and we call them bachelor handbags. As
That's
they're
incredible.
Stereotypically a common lunch or dinner meal for single men. What
Yes.
alternative
Good name.
names do you have for common food products?
Ooh, good question.
Oh,
Well,
shit.
what is it? What is the hot dogs now? They're Glizzies. Is that what it is?
Glizzies, yes.
Where does
Why are
that
they-
come from?
Why are they called glizzies? What?
I don't know.
I actually don't know where Glizzies come from. I just know that
Who
Joey
calls
Chestnut.
them this?
I know Joey Chestnut, the competitive hot dog eater, is the Glizzy Gladiator.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay.
So there is one.
Yeah, Glizzies is dope.
I eat these things. I first saw they come in handbags here as well, and I will be calling that these things bachelor handbags from now on. But yeah, I remember the first time I really became aware of the concept. It was like some French movie where a sad man was eating one of these by himself. So yeah, that all tracks. But I don't know. There's a lot. I mean, lots of usually it's for like drinks and stuff, right? Like 40s have all kinds of colloquial names and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah, drinks will have fun names. I'm trying to think what's the last thing I called something odd? I guess nugs, shortened
Right.
version
Yeah,
of nuggets.
Nugs and tendies and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Wings is
Um,
already short, so Bakalar.
Yeah. No. There's this one.
Yappa Panda says McGangbang, which I'm gonna assume is you just order one of everything on the McDonald's menu.
No. A McGangbang
what
is a
that?
McChicken and a double cheeseburger. You put them together.
Okay, even better.
Ooh.
That's very good.
There's there's this Asian restaurant that calls like crab rangoons. They call them like cheese puff flowers, which I always think is like a real fun way to describe just like a little cheese fried dumpling like that.
But there is crab in
Um,
it, right?
It's not- I
Imitation.
mean, it's
sometimes.
imitation.
Yeah.
Oh, imitation
Sure,
crab.
yeah.
Blech.
Yeah.
It's all nasty.
Um,
Someone made me try one of those. And I was like, okay, but I'm gonna waste it because I'm gonna hate it. And it was gross.
I like crab rang. I could eat those crab rangoon. Yeah,
I think I could eat 100 of them.
I think
Well, they're smaller. They're
depends on
smaller
how
than
flaky
nugs.
they are.
I
you
bet
know?
you could actually.
I'd
I
cut
think that's a
my
lot more
mouth
doable.
Yeah.
You know what I could eat a lot of? Where were we were talking about this during the direct. I could eat a shit ton. I think actually, now that I've talked about the pizza competitive eating, I'm like walking this back a little bit, and I'm just gonna say that I like the flavor of this thing. Have not had one in probably 15 years. Bet I could eat a good amount of them. Are Cheddar Bay biscuits from Red Lobster.
You can't eat a lot of those.
I bet I could eat maybe 4 before I'm ill.
For competitive
of
number.
course, like the minimum they let you
Yeah.
eat before they let you leave. Like, yeah.
I bet that each one of them has like 1,200 calories, and you're
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
sort of like,
yeah, you could get like a box and like make them at home now, just so you know. And
What?
I have done this because all you have to do is like provide the cheddar cheese. I think everything else is in the box. You mix it together,
Mhm.
and then you eat them alone in the dark while watching Netflix.
In a
At least that's
closet.
how I've done it.
oh
I
my
could
god, look
eat-
at all these biscuit recipes.
I could eat
Yo.
100 edamames in a pot.
Right, I'd be
on,
100 pieces of
Jess.
rice.
Come on,
That would be delicious. I
That's
could
like
go for
Eat-
100
that.
edamames.
competitive eating edamame is like the muso of competitive eating. There's just so many
Yeah.
already. Like it's
Yeah,
not
there's so many.
substantial.
Yeah.
I could eat 1,000 grains of rice, like no
Yeah,
problem.
Mitch Hedberg
Yeah.
joke. That rice
nice.
is great when you want to eat 10,000 of something. Just think about it and giggle.
All right.
Speaking about glizzies, we got an email about glizzies. Mark from Florida writes in, "Sup fam, with hot dogs upping their culinary game lately and taking on the new popular nomenclature, have y'all been throating any glizzies lately? I feel
Oh.
like with age, I kind of naturally lost touch with the glizz, but have definitely been enjoying the comeback. Thoughts on thoughts and favorite glizz? Mine is the classic 150 Costco glizz soda combo. Those unlimited refills alone are worth the money. Hashtag keep throating. Mark from Florida.
So,
Yep.
look,
Are they like taking on, like they're upping the culinary game and taking on, like, is there a reason that hot Glizzies now? Like, this is completely news to me. I'm feeling old as hell right now.
It's honestly like it's so fucked up because it's just I've honestly deep down feel like it's a way to disguise the nature of what these horrific meat tubes actually are. Like, look,
I mean, come on. If we're eating a meat tube, you don't care about what people think. Oh, I need to like spice up what I'm eating to like trick people. No, you've given up already. I have.
Okay. I don't get me wrong. I don't eat hot dogs almost ever. If I do, it's maybe a turkey dog, which is probably not that much better.
Mhm.
But hot dogs really are like the most fucked up thing you can eat. Like, I don't think there's too many other things that are as fucked up as a hot dog, right?
Yeah, but they're really,
Foie gras.
really delicious.
No, you know,
You ever been
like,
at a gas station and eat a hot dog? That's
yes.
living.
Foie gras is ethically fucked up, but like in terms of the actual, composition of the product, it is so fucked up. It's just so I would call myself a glizzy too. I would use a euphemism and be like, yo, I'm a glizzy, not a hot dog. I don't know, man. That's rough.
I'm not huge on the dogs. Something that has dismayed me before is that like certain places will put like in this area in the Midwest in Chicago, you get like a Chicago dog and it comes on this lovely poppy seed bun, which I'm like, okay,
Ooh.
A+. This is a cool change. Comes with a little long spear of pickle on it. Hell fucking yeah. Got the onions and shit like that. This is all good. But then they put this relish on that is nuclear green. The most bright, sickly neon green relish type stuff I've ever seen, and it is the most unappetizing looking shit.
Is relish?
I think it's just relish, but they actually put like additional green dye into it to make it even more green. And I'm just like, this is where I'm drawing the line. Like, this is aesthetically very strange. I don't like the look of this.
Put green sugar in this, please.
I basically live across the street from a minor league baseball stadium, and I'm excited to go there specifically to eat hot dogs. That is the almost entire reason I want to go there. Yes. So
ballpark dog.
Yeah, good ballpark dog. Yeah.
Sauerkraut.
I just want like a backyard barbecue style dog where it's just like a friend of yours is grilling a dog and you got crappy chips and like a drink and like that's
a Pepsi.
That's the vibe I want in a hot dog.
What time of year you're
experience.
drinking a Pepsi? Yeah, absolutely.
All right. How do we feel about 2 more emails?
Sure.
All right.
That sounds delightful.
Howdy, Bomb Crew. This is Nick from New Jersey. Y'all been talking about this 100 nug challenge for a while now. As a man who frequently indulged in food challenges in my dark past during college, I have some advice. But first, my credentials. As someone who has both been in incredible shape and vastly overweight, the most I could eat in one sitting was actually when I was my healthiest. And on one faithful night, I ate 75 dino nuggets. Oh my God. 2 frozen Celeste brand pizzas. They're the personal size ones. And 3 ice cream sandwiches.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
I felt like absolute shit for 2 days and took a break from eating food for 60 hours.
Yeah.
I ate this all within 45 minutes.
No.
That is amazing.
I did not yak.
I do not condone this behavior. Can I just have it be known?
This is all to say that 100 nuggets are possible. You need to train and use a sick day or 2 after you do it. I'm dead serious. I believe in you, Jan. But before you embark, almost done, on this journey, do some preliminary tests and training sessions. And don't forget to rest afterwards. Your brother and Nugs, Nick from New Jersey.
So I think this being the healthiest when you start this makes sense to me, because if you go into a meal and you're like already like, oh man, I feel like shit, things aren't going to get better with every nug. So it makes sense. Like if you're healthy and good to go and you're feeling happy and good about yourself, there's a lot more space between what you feel when you start and like where you're going to end up. When you're already here, it's like, okay, I'm full after 40 and I feel like garbage. So yeah, Jan, I still believe in you.
I have a question.
Yes.
When Grub says he agrees, he believes in you. Has something changed? Like, is there something happening? Are you going on a path that you cannot get off of? Are you headed towards the inevitability of attempting to eat a century of nugs?
The centennial nuggets.
What is going on? What happened?
I see what happens when you're gone for a week with the bedlam that ensues.
Mommy left, and here we go. Yep.
Yeah. I think we had joked around that if we do a PAX panel, a portion of the PAX panel should just be me trying to eat 100 nuggets.
In silence, over to the side while everyone's just talking. There's just a spotlight on you.
How long are PAX panels? Is that only like an hour? You'll die.
It's an hour and some change, and like
if he hasn't done it after an hour, we would have to. I think have to put an end to it because I think it needs to happen fast rather than slow.
Yeah. Have I been trying to up my physical game a lot lately? Yes. Is it because I'm thinking about doing this nugget challenge? Yes.
Dude, you could easily do 1.7 nugs a minute. Like,
there we go.
Right.
But the thing is that like it's a cumulative problem where you're going to slow down more the longer time goes on.
Right,
so that 1.7 is not going to remain consistent throughout, right?
Right, but I think that's why you want to go have a pretty quick pace when you start.
Yeah. I want you going five. Let's do 10 a second.
What's Glizzy Gladiator have to say about all this? What's his strategy?
Yeah, exactly. I got to get Joey Chestnut on the line.
I think the main strategy is just lubrication, right? Just like lots of soda and water to slip it down your nasty gullet.
I'm a dry guy, so I just
gonna chew those. You're gonna chew those nuggy boys.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, totally. Regulation.
Your esophagus is gonna be messed up.
What
just
if we
make the plane ride a couple days later? That's all I'll say.
Yeah. What if you blended them?
No, that's defeating the purpose of it. No.
What the fuck?
This is gross already. What's the point?
See, my ultimate goal
you will
is
save so much time chewing is what I'm saying.
That's defeating the purpose. Blended nuggets? No.
What is the purpose? This is purposeless chaos.
We can't examine that. What's the purpose of any of this? What have we done here?
You're gonna blend up a century of nuggets into no, dude. That's not what you're doing.
Oh, okay, I gotta write that down. My whole dream board vision is that the PAX panel starts, and then you know how boxers enter the ring with their posse, right? And they got their headphones on, the towel on. It's gonna be like that, but I'm going to get ready to eat nuggets.
And you've got two giant bags that you're flexing with, full of 50 nuggets each, and you're just lifting them.
And Jess is in the crowd yelling, "Don't do it! You're gonna die!"
People love you, Jan.
Yes.
No, it's not worth it.
It's just Rocky. It's just Rocky.
McDonald's.
Yes, gotta do McDonald's, and then we're gonna make a hype trailer that's just like Creed 2, set to Kendrick Lamar's DNA, and instead of where it goes, I got, it's just nugget.
If you die, this is gonna be so embarrassing because there'll be so much video evidence of saying, "Don't, I got a bad feeling," and I'll be so right, and I'll be burying you and saying, "I told you so" at your grave.
You think I can
over
do
nuggets?
He thinks I can do it.
Oh no! What's up?
What an enabler!
We're good.
What an enabler!
She knows me the best.
It's still scrolling.
Did you talk to your doctor about this?
I actually have.
And what did they say?
You have not. I don't believe that.
I emailed my doctor. It was like, is it okay if I eat 100 nuggets for a thing? And then she was like, why would you eat 100 nuggets? And I was like,
exactly.
And
it's not worth.
I mentioned her. It's for my job.
That's fucked up, Jen. Don't put that shit on us. What are you doing?
Now we're liable for
there's
this
a paper
somehow.
trail. You've messed up big time.
Last email of the show from that guy over there. They email and ask, the new Mario film will become the new MCU. Discuss? All I really want is a well-done animated Legend of Zelda film. Thanks, that guy over there.
Sure, that'd be neat.
I think Zelda, the Zelda thing would work better as a series. I think that is a you don't tie up a Zelda story in 90 minutes. You need a whole season's worth.
So Tam talked about this on Game Mess Mornings, where he's like, Wario should show up at the end of the movie and be like Thanos and be like, I'm gonna win, and and all that stuff, and like, fine, I do it myself. It's like, that's what he did. The quote was, and so I like that idea. I always thought it would be the Smash Brothers thing, where it's like, you can have a Zelda show as all this other stuff, but in the end, they all come together and they're in a Super Smash Brothers connected universe or whatever.
Well, here's the issue, though. Like, when it comes to adapting some video games, not all of them,
Mhm.
the silent protagonist is a problem, right? Mario's a silent protagonist for the most part, aside from utterances, you know.
Kirby as well.
Kirby, Link, these are all silent protagonists. So then you end up getting dumb shit like, excuse me, princess, and,
You mean,
know,
some of
stuff
the greatest
like
writing of all time is what I think you mean to say.
Yes. So I think like that's the main issue with the cinematic universe is you can't have this many silent protagonists in a universe of fiction in movies, I think.
I mean, Chris Pratt's probably signed on for a 6-picture deal. I don't think this is a problem. He could do all the characters. Chris Pratt saying, "Excuse me, princess." I can hear it already.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
can hear it. I
God.
can hear it.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think is the worst reference he will say out loud?
For Mario?
It's
Yeah.
on like Donkey Kong. He will say that, and
Ooh,
I will die in the
shit,
theater.
I'll die.
Yep. It's gonna be bad. It's probably gonna be fine. It's probably gonna be whatever. But
You know, we all thought the Sonic movie was going to be bad, but then look at us now.
It was cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are good. I think the second one has some
Sonic's,
really weird moments, but yeah.
Sonic's been chatty for decades now.
right,
He's been
true.
talking since there's been video games capable of like doing more than just sound chip like garbled messes.
I'm not
you
worried
know?
about that. Like they're I'm not worried.
He's had a very established personality, but you look at like, you know, Mario, it's like what's he like as a guy? You know, he's just
Yeah.
a little jumpy man, go up and down, save princess.
His personality will be based on Bob Hoskins. That's what
Better.
they're gonna do.
Bet.
That
I
wraps
don't
it up
know.
for emails. You can send your emails to bombcast@giantbomb.com. Maybe we'll pause on the nugget talk because now I'm getting scared thinking about it because everyone tells me I'm going to die.
You're not gonna die. You're just your butthole is gonna
you
die.
can't say that. You don't know for sure. Like he could.
What if I just
Yeah, I mean-
explode?
Right. One nug too many. I mean, there's
Oh.
got to be a point where he would explode. So
Yeah. What else is going on this week? Game Mess mornings for the rest of from Wednesday onwards.
yeah,
You gotta-
I got Lucy on tomorrow. You're on Thursday. I got to find somebody for Friday, but yeah.
We got the arcade pit popping off tomorrow. Do we got another Jeff's? This is a packed schedule. When I looked at it getting posted, I'm like,
Yes.
oh gosh, that's a lot.
Jeff's will be out tomorrow for sure. One Punch. I know. I'm an anime expert. That's how I know how that theme song goes.
Mhm.
What-
Run to the Hills
Yes.
semi-finale, finale-ish.
finale-ish. There may be some time in between the Jan and Jess explained of it because I will be gone for a couple Fridays. Maybe we'll work our way into getting that done before I leave. We also got
And ranking of Tekken endings.
Yeah.
Friday.
this
Hell
Friday.
yes.
I'm gonna tune into that. That's
taking
a lot of
place instead of UPF this week. We got ranking of Tekken's Part 2. Is there enough endings to warrant a Part 3, or is it just Part 2?
I don't know. Like we only got up to what, like Tekken 3, and there's like 8 of them.
Oh my God. There's not
There's
gonna
probably
be
enough.
just part 2. There's
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a part 3.
Jess,
Yeah, right?
from you are now an expert in Tekken. Who's your favorite character?
The dinosaur whose name is
Yeah.
Alex. He's got boxing gloves on.
Oh,
How does this happen? I also don't know the plot except that everyone who's related to somebody wants to throw them off a tall thing to
That's
their
the plot.
demise.
You got it. That's the
I don't-
entire plot.
I don't know if they're in a competition and whoever wins is
Yeah, what is
something.
the Iron Fist thing? Wasn't that the name of the Tekken tournament? I can't remember.
I don't know who's running the tournament. I don't know what the prize is. It seems like sometimes it's money. Sometimes it's the ability to run free with your kangaroo brethren. I don't know the prize.
Well, we'll find out a couple more Tekken endings this Friday. Maybe we'll learn more about Tekken. Maybe we'll learn even less. But stay tuned for the Giant Bombcast next week. It is still, it's now sunny, 64 degrees in the San Francisco Bay Area. This has been the Giant Bombcast episode 744. He has been Jeff Grubb. He has been Jeff Bakalar. She's been Jess O'Brien. I've been Jan Ochoa. We'll catch you next week, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Whoa!
Giant Bombcast is hosted and live produced by Jan Ochoa, with support from Jeff Grubb, Dan Reichert, Jess O'Brien, Lucy James, Tamor Hussein, Jason A. Stryker, Matthew Rory, and me, Jeff Bakalar. Our theme music is provided by Tom Monda. Our logo is designed by Dave Schopenek, and you can find him online with the handle @Dave Saved the Day. Justin Vachon is our sweet little art boy. And thank you so much for listening. Of course, a kiss on the cheek to you at home.